significant trade, then we were going to pass.
Interesting. So they did try to move back in the draft last night and didn't like what they were offered. Like, there wasn't a lot of movement last night from anybody. Obviously, the Jacksonville Jaguars stole the night with the trade, either like it or not. I mean, they gave up a hell of a lot for Travis Hunter. They gave up a ton for Travis Hunter.
Yes. And they must love Travis Hunter. And that, I know I'm a little biased, and everybody in San Antonio probably should be a little biased because one of our own went number 1 overall in Cam Ward. But and maybe it's because Cam isn't flashy like Shadur or Travis Hunter, or because everybody knew that he was going to go to Tennessee, and then as soon as he gets picked, there is the immediate trade for Travis Hunter. But I don't feel like Cam Ward got enough attention last night being the number 1 overall pick.
No, he didn't. He's a little too quiet, not flashy, none of that kind of stuff. All I know is today is I wake up, I'm watching Get Up, I'm listening to the radio, to some of the national shows, and every NFL team in the league made a horrible mistake last night because they didn't take Shadur Sanders. Everybody screwed up.
Yeah, they
Can't believe that Shadur Sanders didn't go in the first round.
There is Shadur fatigue for sure.
Oh, my gosh.
The reality, he's one of the biggest stories coming into the draft just because he's Shadur Sanders. He's Deion's son. I mean, hell, they've already retired his number at Colorado. I will say this about Shadur Sanders. Every team evaluated him. The New York Giants even went out there a week ago to have another in-person meeting with him. They did all their evaluations, and they moved up and got Jackson Dart, not Shadur Sanders. So 32 teams don't think that he is a first-round pick. And the Giants had a couple of cracks at him. Early, Abdul Carter was the way they had to go. Late, they decided Jackson Dart was a better fit.
Boy, according to every talking head in the media, though, oh, what a mistake.
Well,
oh, my gosh, how could you do that?
I saw Mel Kiper's board, and I saw the draft. Tell me, it was a bad night for Mel Kiper.
Mel Kiper.
It was a bad night. But I will say this about Shadur Sanders. He had his little draft party last night up in the Dallas area, and he had a lot of people there in his legendary outfitted house or room or whatever that was. And when things didn't go his way, he showed me a lot last night with how he handled not getting drafted in the first round.
We all didn't expect this, of course, but I feel like with God, anything possible, everything possible. I don't feel like this happened, for no reason. All this is, of course, fuel to the fire. And under no circumstance, we all know this shouldn't have happened. But we understand we're on the bigger and better things. Tomorrow's the day. We're going to be happy regardless. Legendary.
Look, it's a great speech, and I'm not blaming Shadur Sanders. I'm not. This is not disrespect to Shadur Sanders, this little rant. What it is all these talking heads on ESPN and Fox and everywhere else thinking that, oh, my gosh, what a mistake. How these stupid NFL executives and scouts, what could they be thinking? It's ridiculous. Unbelievable.
It's not a good quarterback draft. I do expect him to go today, probably early in the second round. Cleveland's got a couple of cracks at him pretty early on in the draft today. In fact, when you look at the draft order, Cleveland goes first, then it's Houston, then it's Tennessee, and then Cleveland again. So, Cleveland might not take him till 36. Maybe at 37, the Raiders are able to pick him up. If he's still there, maybe the Saints at 40. It'll be interesting to see the slide if it does continue into tonight.
It's fascinating. This mock draft, day 2, Eric Edholm. You ever heard of him?
No.
Oh, I haven't either, but I find it interesting. They have Cleveland taking Travion Henderson with the first pick in the second round.
Well, that would piss me off.
Luther Burden will go to the Tennessee Titans at 35.
That would piss me off.
Cleveland at 36, they have him taking Mason Taylor, a tight end from LSU. The Raiders at 37, Will Johnson, the cornerback. You talk about a guy that I can't believe didn't go in the first round. That guy, Will Johnson, the cornerback out of Michigan. The Saints at 40, according to this mock draft, take a guy by the name of Jalen Milroe. Shadur Sanders finally is picked at 67 by the Cleveland Browns.
And, I mean, it kind of feels like he's destined to end up in Cleveland, right? But good night.
They have 3 picks in the second round.
Well,
That's crazy.
And and not that he's going to Houston, but Houston has a lot of picks today. And, as I look on our TV, are we on ESPN or NFL Network in there, Pledge? It's NFL Network. They are talking to Cam Ward right now live. Is Cam on the Tennessee Titans private jet that has the Oiler Derek right by the doors you're getting on the private plane, which I saw on video. He's down there, and he will wear number 1 for the Tennessee Titans. The former Incarnate Word Cardinal, the number 1 overall pick, will wear number 1. Whether it was orchestrated and Cam knew or whatever, they kind of pulled off a surprise, and he's doing his press conference, and Warren Moon walks out and presents him the number 1 jersey. So Warren Moon, who played for the Oilers, had his jersey retired by the Titans, and Warren Moon, the Hall of Famer, said, it's Cam's number.
As far as the number and everything is concerned, I wore the number 1 for a lot of different reasons, and I wore it for a long time, starting back in 1976 when I was in college. And I think I wore it very honorably for the Houston Oilers organization, to the point to where I created a Hall of Fame career for myself. Now I'm part of the Tennessee Titans family, and my Houston Oilers jersey will probably never be worn again. I hope it won't. But the Tennessee Titans jersey is going to be worn by Cam, and Cam will be starting a new, not regime here, but just a new freshness in this organization to kind of revitalize it and get it back to where it was a number of years ago, one of the more successful organizations in the league. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do with his legacy wearing this number, and I'm proud of the things that I did to establish my legacy with the time I wore that number. So, Cam, I'm going to be watching your career. I'm here for you. I'm going to help you as much as I can possibly do it whenever you need me, and just wish you the best of luck. And you come from a great family. I think that's where a lot of it starts, and I think you'll do well here. So congratulations on being the number 1 overall pick, and now the work gets started. All right?
Nice. And I tell you, it looked like, now maybe it was orchestrated, and I think it was, but I'm not sure Cam knew about it, because at his press conference, he's up at the podium, the general manager standing there and said, we got a special guest who wants to come out, and it's Warren Moon with the jersey number 1 with Ward on the back of it. And that's the only way I think that could have played out, and it played out perfectly. And what a treat for Cam Ward to have a Hall of Famer walk out and say, young man, you can wear my jersey.
The idea, because I thought it was interesting watching when they were doing this, because most of these press conferences, the first thing you do is the GM and the coach, they hold up the jersey and you do the photos, and they weren't doing that. And I do wonder how long this has been in the works, because it felt like Cam got caught off guard the other day when he was asked about what his jersey was going to be in the NFL. And this seems like it was well planned out. Even Warren's answers, I've still got to think about it. Almost like, well, I know what our plan is, but I can't give up the plan and tell you now, yeah, he could wear it. I never played for Tennessee.
Right.
I never wore that jersey, right? So we'll go. And I see on our YouTube feed, Jacob Eric writes that UIW post on X saying we had him first got my allergies acting up. and that is so true. UIW had him first. And on social, UIW did a great job of owning. And UIW got a lot of national love last night for finding and developing Cam Ward. And Eric Morse and Eric's son playing catch with him there in that green room that looked like a big-ass furniture store.
Yeah.
And his kid wearing a North Texas hat, which I guess is appropriate. But pretty damn cool for Eric Morse, because now he's got Patrick Mahomes and now the number 1 overall pick on his resume.
Happy for Cam Ward last night. I was happy that happened, and we all knew it would, or certainly 99.9% positive that it would. The draft was not as dramatic as I thought it would be. The Jags did what they did for Travis Hunter, but other than that, the only, I guess, maybe surprise, if you want to call it that, is the Texans not drafting in the first round. They traded their pick to the Giants so they could take Jackson Dart.
Nick Caserio was going to trade one way or the other, and I think he was trying to move up. Nobody was playing, so he moved out. It's going to be interesting. Tyler Booker, the newest member of the Dallas Cowboys. We expect Tyler Booker to be on the show today in the 4 o'clock hour. We say expect. We've already gotten 2 updates of delays. And we're off at 5 to bring you second-round coverage. But Tyler Booker is expected to be on the Blitz today in the 4 o'clock hour. That said, if you weren't excited about the pick when it was first made, you listen to this kid talk, and I don't know how you don't get excited. Let's hear from Tyler Booker. Coming up next here on The Blitz, here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, San Antonio. Multiple tours overseas, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training toward our low-cost degree and certificate programs. We call that credit where credit is due. For over 75 years, our dedicated success coaches have been helping service members achieve their goals. Get started with local support and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATS.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
May I help you?
I just wanted to request a late checkout, please.
Of course. That's $30 per hour for up to 4 hours.
Huh. Okay, but if you can offer a late checkout, then that probably means no one is staying in that room. So if it's empty, maybe I can just stay a few extra hours.
Oh, aren't you adorable?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
It's time for the herd you love. It's time for professional spring football. Your San Antonio Brahmas are back, bringing you more of the action, the celebration, and the unforgettable moments you love. Join us for the Viva Fiesta Viva Brahmas home opener this Sunday, April 27th at 2 p.m. Bring the energy to the Alamo Dome as your San Antonio Brahmas take on the Houston Roughnecks. Get your tickets today at uflbrahmas.com. That's uflbrahmas.com for tickets. Our town, our team, our herd.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's gonna audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by Tax Relief Advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-7147. 800-575-7147. That's 800-575-7147 or simply visit TRA.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Now at Verizon, we have some big news for your peace of mind. For all our customers, existing and new, we're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on My Plan and My Home. That's future you peace of mind. And everyone can save on a brand new phone on My Plan when you trade in any phone from one of our top brands. That's new phone peace of mind. Because at Verizon, whether you're already a customer or you're just joining us, We got you. Visit Verizon today. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Hi there, I'm John O'Hurley. You know our pets are beloved family members. But sadly, though, there are so many dogs that get euthanized every day due to the lack of funding. To give them a chance at adoption, I invite you to support Puppy Food Bank. Thanks to generous donors like you, all of the food sent to pet shelters from Puppy Food Bank never comes with a bill. So please go to puppyfoodbank.org and make a generous, caring $15 donation every month. Your donation will absolutely save pet lives.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
With the 12th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Tyler Booker, guard, Alabama.
Guard. I know we all wanted something more explosive. Not mad at it, don't love it, not overly excited. I think I can grow to love it, especially after hearing from Tyler Booker. It is The Blitz. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along on this Fiesta Friday. If you're watching on YouTube, appreciate that. You can always comment on our YouTube channel. Go to San Antonio Sports Star on YouTube. You want to react to the pick? Dial us up and call us the old-fashioned way, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. I know Reinagel's reaction because I was sitting with him at the Roo Pub.
I was still pissed off about the Panthers.
Yeah?
So, you know, it wouldn't have mattered who they picked. But that's all right.
I could not believe that the Cowboys stayed at 12 and made that pick. But Jerry did explain afterwards they tried to trade. There was nothing there that they liked, especially with the trade offer, so they stayed there and they took their best player available. And then you start looking into it, and I think this is the difference. And the Cowboys last night, very honest in their assessment. What they're looking at and what we're thinking they need sometimes can be two very different things. They need help on that offensive line. They know what division they play in and the defensive lines they face. Stephen Jones talked all about it. And so when you get into the weeds and try to go inside what those meeting rooms are like when they're talking about players, and McMillan's gone, next best player available, Tyler Booker, you got to take him.
If you look at our division, I mean, we've got some really top defensive tackles in our division, and we understand that, and not going to be able to move them around now. You're either going to pick Tyler Smith or Tyler Booker. So good luck. And we like our guy, and he was, he's just a hell of a solid pick, and he's going to be a great player. I don't want to talk for Coach. He makes those decisions, but can't imagine he doesn't walk in here day one and start for us.
I tell you what, look, the guy is a beast. I mean, he really is. He had a hell of a career at Alabama, and it's hard to knock the pick. I mean, it really is hard to knock the pick.
No, you can't. I mean, it's a solid pick. You heard that from Steven. Does it fill a need? Maybe it wasn't the same need on your board as it was theirs. And McMillan gone, and by all accounts, they would have taken McMillan if he were there at 12. The other receivers that we all wanted, like Golden, maybe they weren't as high on the board. And you hear Jerry talking about this is a safe pick.
We had, our guy said the safe. He used that word safe as a pick. I bet I heard it 20 times talking about safe, okay, about what might not be there that you would want to be there. And the word was safe. the word safe in having an offensive line is so important, because when you have inconsistent availability, or you have inconsistent reliability relative to your discipline, the word safe in an offensive line is a big deal. And that was the pick right there on it. The others have it going. So if we simply can line up and not give back more of the yards than we're making this coming year, we will be well down the road on having a lot more wins. And our offensive line did need addressing. Now, you say dressing from within, yes.
And it did. He's right. And look, it's the foundation of a football team. And I'm sitting here and as disappointed as I was last night, not so much in the pick for the Cowboys, but what happened before the Cowboys pick. You look at it, and you've got a good player who was damn good at Alabama. And he's one of these guys that loves playing football. He loves to hit people, and I think it's going to turn out to be a very good pick for the Dallas Cowboys. Their offensive line's in pretty good shape.
It is, and quite honestly, I don't often associate Jerry and safe, but it was a sensible pick for the Dallas Cowboys, which I don't think any of us expected. And that's not yes, do they need help on the offensive line? I thought they could get that help in the third round because I wanted another weapon for Dak. But I'm not mad at this. But when you see that kid's reaction last night, when you saw the videos, when he got picked and him running through that stage and getting out there, and just his first words after becoming a Cowboy, right after the pick and he's on stage, just his overall excitement.
How are you feeling right now?
I'm super excited. I'm blessed to be a Cowboy. It's a great tradition of a great offensive lineman, and I'm excited to follow suit with all that came before me.
You did not allow a sack on your quarterback this last season. Did Dak Prescott just become your new best friend?
Oh, yeah, I can't wait to get on the phone with Dak. Getting the protection means make sure he goes clean every single game. I'm just so excited to be a Cowboy.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I mean, right there, and a lot of factors for that. Obviously, he didn't, he didn't allow a sack. Jalen Milroe was pretty hard to sack, but you got to give him credit for that, to not allow anything.
He brings some nasty, right?
Maybe so.
What was the line? He likes to make you want to quit football. He's got that ability, but he's got personality. In fact, apparently on his visit, he walks into Brian Schottenheimer's office, who was listening to Whitney Houston, and they bonded over that.
I visited with Dallas. I walked in. Coach Shotty, he was listening to I Want to Dance with Somebody by Whitney Houston. And I was like, you know what, I like this guy. And luckily it was in God's plans that for me to end up playing for him. So I'm super excited to get in that locker room and just be me and grow and learn and most importantly, be a Cowboy.
And that's good. That's a good answer from him. It really is. And so, look, you got to be – it is what it is. That's what they got. The foundation of that offensive line is set. Got a lot of Tylers on that offensive line. That's for sure.
Well, and by Monday, it will be Tyler Steele, not Terrence, and Tyler Beebe, not Cooper. Everybody's got to be named Tyler. It kind of feels that way. So T-Book apparently is the nickname. Although he did say whatever nickname the vets give me, I'll go with.
He's a rookie.
He is. And with Zach Martin retiring, with Tyron Smith recently, I know Tyron just retired as a Cowboy, but we know last year didn't play there. But, what does Booker bring to this offensive line room?
I'm going to bring Tyler Booker. That's what I'm going to bring. Me being me has gotten me to where I've been this far, and I would be doing me and the Cowboys a disservice if I come in and try to be those guys. Now, with me being Tyler Booker, I'm going to learn from Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, and the rest of the vets in that room. But first and foremost, I have to go in there and be me and understand that there's a lot that I have to do better.
No, there's no doubt about it, but it's tough. It is tough because he is expected now to step into the shoes of a future Hall of Famer in Zach Martin, and he talked about that last night, about filling the shoes of one Zach Martin.
Now, I just mentioned guard. They mentioned that Zach Martin just retired, and that's one of the greatest of all time at that position, at that guard position. So to be able to come in and pick up where he left off. It's a huge honor for them to see me as somebody who can do that. Is a true honor too. So my job when I get there is just to get to work, put my head down, get to work, and really just be me, because I know I have big shoes to fill.
Nice. And respecting what he is taking over for, I think, is huge. And he obviously says all the right things, and he respects what he's about to get into.
Well, that's it. For a guy that will use the term, I love the job because it's legal assault, but he doesn't sound overly arrogant. He understands where his place is, coming from a big-time school. And, hell, he was at IMG Academy. So every step along the way, he's always played against the toughest competition and done it at an extremely high level. Well, we do expect Tyler Booker, whatever we're going to call him, on the Blitz today in the 4 o'clock hour. I know it's 2:30 now. In the meantime, Jon Machota from The Athletic will get his reaction to the Booker pick and expectations for today's second and third rounds coming up. But before we go, we've got some Fiesta medals to give away, some 94-1 Fiesta medals. If you're watching on YouTube, you can kind of see it here. We've got a pair, not one, but two medals we're giving away to one person. Yeah.
One for you and gift to somebody else.
Yeah, or you can wear them over on both sides.
Yeah.
So Tyler Booker is going to wear number 52. But he was the 12th pick, so we'll give him to caller number 12, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Caller 12, you get a couple of San Antonio Sports Star Fiesta medals.
That is awesome. You know, you can wear them out to the Golf Club of Texas, play a little golf out there, and have your medals swinging around back and forth. It'd be fantastic to do that. No matter what you're doing and what you're wearing, hopefully it is something nice. Head out to the Golf Club of Texas, play some golf out there, because I'm going to tell you, if you haven't been out to the Golf Club of Texas lately, you haven't been out there. The place has changed so much in just the past year. All the improvements that they've done out there to this beautiful golf course is incredible. Brand new golf cart paths all over the place. They're all brand new. They've resodded in so many areas, and they've got these little areas that they call Xeriscape, right? And it's just pretty. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's just pretty, and it adds to the ambiance of the golf course. It is fantastic. And to pair with the golf course, they've got the Tin Cup Bar and Grill there, which is just fantastic. Any kind of drink that you want, they can make it for you. They got cold beer on draft and in cans all over the place. You're not going to be thirsty, and the food is absolutely fantastic. So head on out to the Golf Club of Texas. In fact, you ought to go to golfclubtexas.com right now. That's golfclubtexas.com. The best rates are always online at golfclubtexas.com. It is the Golf Club of Texas, and you know exactly where it is. It's right there off Briggs Ranch Road off Highway 90. Whether you're headed out for dinner at the Tin Cup or around with your buddies, maybe your next tournament, go check them out. The Golf Club of Texas is the friendliest golf course in Texas.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, the draft has come and gone. We'll break down everything that happened over the weekend.
Count your cups and shake out all that Coscaroni dust. We got a lot to talk about. NBA playoffs are now in full swing. Get here early. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WEALTH to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WEALTH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code WEALTH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Did you know that 70% of divorces are filed by women? She's already thinking about it. I urge you, do not get caught off guard. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, attorneys at law. Divorce is tough. It's emotional, challenging, and can upend everything you've worked hard for. But here's the truth. You have a choice. You can either let your spouse dictate the terms, or you can take control and protect your financial future. At Barton & Associates, this isn't just about getting through the process. It's about protecting what you've built, securing your assets, and ensuring you have the resources to move forward with confidence. You've worked hard for everything you have, and we're here to help safeguard it and avoid unnecessary losses. If you're serious about protecting yourself through the divorce process and securing your future, Barton & Associates is the team you need by your side. Call 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-million. Or visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
Made in America, highest quality. That's Connecticut Quality Water Softeners. There's a reason Dave Ramsey says a Connecticut is a wise investment for your home.
Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Connecticut uses less water and runs on kinetic energy.
So there's no computer to break, fewer moving parts, and it works only when you need it.
It was even voted most efficient water softener in the world by the Water Quality Association.
For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink. $400 off with trade-in and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Call Connecticut of San Antonio and the Hill Country. 210-656-PURE.
Check them out at ConnecticutSA.com and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
License number 38961.
ConnecticutSA.com.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
When you switch to Progressive and bundle your home and auto, you could save hundreds, and that's a surprising amount of money.
Whoa, that's like farmer's market money.
That's like give me a gallon of that locally sourced raw honey money.
That's certified organic heirloom tomatoes in every imaginable color except red money.
That's let's get 2 pounds of pink oyster mushrooms money. I'm not even sure I like pink oyster mushrooms.
Guess it's time to find out, because you could save hundreds when you switch to Progressive and bundle. Then the world is your pink oyster mushroom. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Join us for San Antonio's premier Fiesta event, Taste of the Northside, presented by H-E-B, Thursday, May 1st at 6. Experience gourmet food and wine tastings, sip on elevated spirits and cold brews, and enjoy live entertainment at our new location, The Rock at La Cantera. All proceeds benefit Brighton Center, serving children with disabilities and developmental delays in San Antonio. Limited all-inclusive tickets are $300 in advance and can be purchased at tasteofthenorthside.org. Viva Fiesta!
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Digesting a guard at pick number 12. Thought it would be a receiver. Jon Machota from The Athletic joins us every Friday, although today a little bit early because, well, a lot of crazy stuff happening today. So let's get your reaction. Jon Machota on the Buyers Barricades guest line. When it all came down to it and you heard what the pick was, your initial reaction to them taking Tyler Booker?
Pretty on brand with the way they've been operating the last few years. Just kind of a, kind of basic pick. Nothing too crazy. Kind of right down the middle, which is, kind of interesting because Jerry Jones is still the owner and general manager, and that does not seem to be throughout his life in his DNA, but it certainly has been over the last few years with the Dallas Cowboys. So, not completely surprised. I like many, thought that Ted McMillan would have made the most sense. Obviously, he went at 8. And so at that point, I was kind of thinking, all right, well, I still think Emeka Egbuka is a good, solid, wide receiver prospect that if you can't trade back, I think that's probably where it would have went there. But they went with a safe prospect, but it was on the offensive line.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because I think we were watching the draft last night thinking everybody it's going to be a weapon and a wide receiver at that. I was, truth be told, John, pretty upset when the Panthers snuck in there and took Ted McMillan. Were you hearing that that's probably where the Cowboys were going to go had he not been taken by the Panthers?
Yeah, no, that was going to be the spot. Unless, somebody could have traded up in front of the Cowboys, maybe to 10 or 11, something like that. But yeah, if he was there at 12, that would have been the pick for them. So clearly they had a much higher grade on McMillan than they did on, let's say, Golden or Igbuka. And so when they were sitting there at 12, I think ultimately they wanted to trade back, but what was being offered to them wasn't what they wanted. And that doesn't surprise me because this isn't that strong of a draft. You could make the argument it's one of the weakest drafts in recent memory. And so that's probably not, the whole trade chart thing, the value of them, like every team has a different value. And this draft probably has some of the lowest value on some of these picks. And so, I don't know exactly what was being offered or how far they wanted to move back, but it was nothing that really even made them think hard on oh, maybe we should take this or not. And so instead they were like, well, we'll just stay at 12 and take the guy that we know can, be a plug and play starter.
Well, and that's it. And they all but named him a starter last night as Jon Machota from The Athletic joins us here on the Blitz. And again, it wasn't exciting. I'm not mad at it, but I'm not excited about it because I thought there would be a weapon. So will we get the weapons in round 2 and 3 tonight?
I believe so. I mean, that's everything points to that those are, your two. I mean, honestly, it's the same 3 needs that I thought it was going into round 1. Drafting a guard didn't change anything for me. It's still running back, wide receiver, and corner. And so I would think that their second and third round pick will address at least 2 out of those 3, with at least one being a weapon. But when I go back to Tuesday's pre-draft press conference, when after it ended, Jerry mentioned about having 2 substantive possible trades on the table that they were looking into, especially with them taking a guard. And then Jerry saying after the draft last night that nothing has changed in terms of what he said on Tuesday in terms of that trade talk. That makes me believe even more than I believed on Tuesday that that's for a running back or wide receiver, if not both, if they don't address one of those in the draft. And maybe they were working on something before the draft and they decided to wait it out and see how the draft fell. But I do not see this team, if they don't take a running back and wide receiver with these next 2 picks, I don't see them just sitting with what they have. I think that's where you see a veteran trade type situation come into play. I don't think that they can just, Steven said today on 105.3 The Fan that they can sit there and draft best player available and they don't have to draft a running back. See, I don't think that I find it hard to believe that he 100% means that. I feel like they have to get a running back. So we'll see how that goes. But if they don't get a running back in this draft, then they have to make a move because I can't see how they can run with just what they have right now.
Well, obviously, John, 2 big picks tonight. You got the second and third round. Of those 3 areas that you mentioned, what do you think goes first? I mean, there are wide receivers still out there. There's some good running backs out there. There's some good corners out there. What do you think goes first tonight?
I like using history as my greatest teacher when it comes, especially to the Dallas Cowboys, because they, this is my 15th draft covering the team, and most of the same decision makers are in the same position. So it's kind of, it's not as difficult as maybe covering a different team to kind of maybe map out what they might do. And so just covering this team recently, it really makes me think that what's going to happen is there's going to be a run on running backs between 33 and 44. And they're not going to like whatever running back is left out of that group. And so that is where I think corner comes into play because I think there's going to be some really good corners. Corner or running back is what I think that they take there. And then I think, I don't know this would be a fact, but I'm saying if I'm predicting right now, I think they come out of the second round with a running back or corner. And then in the third round, they get whatever they didn't draft there. And then I think that the number 2 wide receiver comes with some type of a move, like a trade that happens after the draft. Because I do think if they get wiped out at wide receiver, like Luther Burden's still out there, maybe if he falls to them at 44, that could be in play. But I think once he's gone, I really have doubts that they value any of these other receivers that much higher than what they already have. And, Tolbert and Mingo and Kevontae Turpin and things like that. So I don't know how adding a third-round wide receiver really upgrades what you have already.
Very true. Now, as we visit with Jon Machota from The Athletic, go with me here. If they really wanted McMillan, and McMillan is a special talent, but he's 6'4", and you can't teach speed and you can't teach size. Now, the Jaden Higgins kid out of Iowa State's also a 6'4" receiver and clearly nowhere near the same level as McMillan is, but at the same time, they did use a 4th-round pick on Jonathan Mingo, and the fact that Mingo's, to this point, you would label him as a bust in Carolina, but they had him at the end of last year and so far through the offseason. Could their personal evaluations of working with Mingo be higher than what a lot of fans think? Because we go, well, the guy didn't work in Carolina. He's really not all that good. But the Cowboys have been around him for a lot. Could they be more confident in Jonathan Mingo than most fans are?
Oh, I don't think there's any question about that. I would say since the season's ended, with the conversation I've had with, people in the building, I think that Jonathan Mingo is somebody that they're higher on than maybe most people on the outside, and Tyler Guyton is somebody that they're higher on than people are on the outside. I think that a lot of people on the outside want to just judge like what they were last year and think that, well, good luck there. There's nothing that's, they're going to get really that great out of that. Whereas I think that they look at it as, well, Mingo was at a tough spot coming in the middle of the season and didn't get really a chance to mesh with Dak, and so they really want to give him that opportunity. Now, of course, that's as a 3 or 4 receiver. I don't think they view Mingo as being their number 2. And so if he clicks with Dak and he performs at a number 2 level, you'd love that. But I don't think you can go into the season counting on that to happen, and I don't think that they will either. I think that's the thing that when Jerry said the trade thing, those are the two. That position is one of the two that I immediately thought of because it makes a bunch of sense. Like, hey, we're going to try for one of these guys early in the draft. If there's not there, we'll make a move for a veteran player.
John, I look at it and I asked this question, and I think I know the answer to it already just because it's the Cowboys and Jerry Jones. But Will Johnson is still available. He was not drafted in the first round. He's still available, and I have to imagine he's not going to be there for long. Any chance the Cowboys might make a move to scoop up a player like that?
I highly doubt that they would move up, but if he was there, I think he could be in play. This is obviously a little bit farther fall than anybody was expecting, but there's some injury stuff there, and obviously he hasn't run the 40, and there's question about his speed, but when he plays on Saturdays, he makes plays, and so I could see them thinking that there's great value there. I mean, that's the thing about the Cowboys in the second round. Again, going back to what I was saying about, when you cover this team for several years, like the second round, man, this is the spot where character concerns, injury concerns, they seem to go out the window with Jerry. He seems to be willing to take a chance here in the second round. So even if some guys are telling him, hey, I don't know, there's some concerns about this injury or this or whatever like that, that's never stopped Jerry before. So that can always come into factor as well. So, I wouldn't count that move out at all.
Well, I don't know. And the fact that he goes to Michigan or went to Michigan, I mean, how much would that factor in since he's been burned by so many Michigan men?
Or he looks at it and goes, well, one of the only ones that's worked out is Jordan Lewis. He was the corner, so maybe that works here.
Possible. Possible. Of the running backs that are available, with this revamped offensive line and Schottenheimer, who seems to really want to be run first. I mean, every time you hear Schotty talk, it seems run first. From last night to pre-draft, all of it. But I'm trying to figure out what kind of style of running back is he looking for? Of the running backs that are available tonight, which one do you think is the best fit for Schottenheimer's offense?
I'm leaning Travion Henderson from Ohio State, but I could be talked into Quinshon Judkins from Ohio State too. I think that either one of them, both 30-visit guys, I think that both of them could be, I don't think both will be there, and heck, both of them could be gone. But I think one of those, if they end up with one of those Ohio State running backs, I think that can be your bell cow. And it certainly would have to be at 44. There's no chance either one would fall to the third round. But I think that those would be the two that I would be looking at. I think those are the two that they're most interested in if they were there. Caleb Johnson from Iowa, I think he's a little bit slower. I don't know that they're, would have him on the same level. So, and then there's maybe Dylan Sampson from Tennessee. I think he's more of a late second round pick. But I think they would be in really good shape if they got one of those Ohio State kids.
John, I'm just curious because when the Cowboys drafted Schoonmaker, it was in the second round, if I'm not mistaken, and it was because there was a run on tight ends. Is that something Jerry is concerned with, or do the Cowboys look at that and say, oh, boy, we need this position and there's a run on them, we need to do something? It seems like the Schoonmaker pick was a panic pick to me.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. I can't say that there's a lot of those though. Like, if anything, like especially like the example I think of when you say that is just how they haven't done that the last 2 years at running back, when we all knew that they weren't giving some massive contract to Tony Pollard, that this eventually they were going to need a replacement for him, and that could have happened 2 years ago or last year, and they never reached that running back. They took, what they thought were better players at other positions, and so I think they do it sometimes. I think Mozzie Smith maybe was a little bit of that too, where it's like they really needed a run-stopping defensive tackle, hadn't taken a defensive tackle in the first round since I think Russell Maryland. So it was overdue there. And so maybe they reached a little bit there instead of going in another direction, which they could have taken an offensive lineman there. I mean, that's what it was down to. So just think about that. I mean, we could potentially be looking at four straight years of 4 offensive linemen in the first round. I mean, I don't know. I don't see anybody else doing that, but somehow the Cowboys, I mean, they got, I mean, I will admit they draft the position well. It just, Jerry thinks that the offensive line stuff has led to them being hanging around the rim. I think others would argue that hanging around the rim is like getting to the Super Bowl and not winning it, as opposed to, not making it out of the divisional round.
Very true. Jon Machota from The Athletic here on the Blitz. So last night you're up there at the Cowboys headquarters with all the other media watching the draft, waiting for the Cowboys to pick. And you guys are in the back room or wherever you are, and everybody's shooting the breeze, watching the draft, reacting to all the picks. What was the conversation like amongst the Cowboys beat writers that Shadur Sanders fell all the way out of the first round?
Okay. I'm going to be completely honest with you. It's been a long time since the Detroit Pistons have had a good team. So I might have been watching YouTube TV with my headphones in a little bit for a good portion of before the Cowboys went on the clock. So because of that, I wouldn't say that there was a lot of talk about Shadur, but from what I gathered, the moment when there was the biggest amount of surprise was really the Giants trading in and taking Jackson Dart. I think that was the moment where everybody was like, well, if he's not going there, when is he going? I mean, they are the team that did the most work on him from everything I've heard. So now you're kind of like, well, how far does he fall? So what a wild pick that would be if the Cowboys took him at 44, huh?
Yeah, wouldn't
Could you imagine?
Yeah, that'd give you something to talk about for a while.
The traffic at the Athletic would explode.
Yes, that's that would be incredible. It's interesting, and just what you said, though, the Giants did the most work with him, but yet they chose to pass on him. You just wonder what that means, if anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if it's, I mean, he's certainly played at a level that's good enough to be a first-round quarterback, especially in this year's quarterback draft class. But it's not like this class has like a bunch of, Joe Burrows and Trevor Lawrences and Andrew Lucks and, Cam Newton's in it. I mean, this is as wide open as it could potentially get, really, since probably that Kenny Pickett draft. And then before that, you probably got to go back to the E.J. Manuel draft. I mean, it's most of the times there's at least a few really good quarterback prospects, and this class really doesn't have it. And so I thought someone would trade up to the back end of that first round, get the 5th-year option on him, and maybe he doesn't play right away. And I imagine that's what's going to happen in the second round. Maybe somebody trades up into that early second round portion to grab him. But yeah, it is kind of a head scratcher there. But yeah, it would be fascinating to see Jerry throw that in the mix. The only reason why I feel confident that wouldn't happen is because of how much he's talked about Dak being the highest paid player, and how, how much he talked yesterday about, like, right off the bat, at the press conference after, about how, this pick is not just about the offensive line. It's about $60 million quarterback Dak Prescott, and keeping him healthy, and, having him upright with what they face in the NFC East and stuff like that. So he just talks too much about how much he's paying Dak for me to think that he wants to invest anything notable in another quarterback.
Very true. Jon Machota from The Athletic. Make sure you subscribe to The Athletic. Follow Jon on Twitter at Jon Machota, Jon Machota. I know it's going to be another long night for you there up at the Star. Enjoy the cold pizza, my friend.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
Appreciate it. Jon Machota on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Your reaction to the Tyler Booker pick, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. We'll have more of that coming up. We do expect Tyler Booker to join us here on the Blitz in the 4 o'clock hour. Very fluid scheduling. It's time has already moved a couple of times today.
Yeah.
He's in Dallas doing stuff, but like his press conferences moved and the different things that, I don't know, first-round picks have to do.
Got a swanky new pair of boots.
He does. And
wow.
in a new jersey with the number 52 on it.
Wow.
They
Very
just go
cool.
downstairs and they print them for his entire family.
I know. That was cool.
That was.
Very cool.
Seeing all that video. Speaking of football, the San Antonio Brahmas have their home opener Sunday, 2 o'clock in the Alamo Dome. They got $3 beer and margaritas pregame at the Alamo Dome.
Hell of a deal.
That's a hell of a deal. We've got a 4-pack of tickets we'll give away right now. Caller 12, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Caller 12, you win a 4-pack of tickets to go see the Brahmas take on the Houston Roughnecks Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock in the Alamo Dome. Call now, 210-656-3776.
From the San Antonio Sports Star Studios, sponsored by George Salinas Injury Lawyers. This is KTFM Floresville.
Anywhere else, Tuesday is just, well, Tuesday. But if you're at KFC, Tuesday is $10 Tuesday, which means you can get 8 hot, juicy drums and thighs for just $10. Let me say that again. 8 pieces of hot, juicy, original recipe chicken, hand-breaded in 11 herbs and spices, all for just $10 every Tuesday, only at KFC. Guess Tuesday isn't just Tuesday anymore. It's finger-licking good. Prices and participation may vary. Tax, tips, and fees.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Jessica, what's on your mind?
Hey, CBD is good stuff, man. I'm chiefing all the time. They call me Chief because I'm smoking so much. Like a choo-choo train.
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Jessica, Chief Choo-Choo.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
It's time for the herd you love. It's time for professional spring football. Your San Antonio Brahmas are back, bringing you more of the action, the celebration, and the unforgettable moments you love. Join us for the Viva Fiesta Viva Brahmas home opener this Sunday, April 27th at 2 p.m. Bring the energy to the Alamo Dome as your San Antonio Brahmas take on the Houston Roughnecks. Get your tickets today at UFLBrahmas.com. That's UFLBrahmas.com for tickets. Our town, our team, our herd.
Listen up, Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. So let's do it again and get vaccinated. We're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults under 50. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit vaxassist.com to schedule. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's gonna audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-300.
You're
putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WEALTH to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WEALTH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code WEALTH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
When it comes to vaccines, it's important to get the facts. The City of San Antonio Metropolitan Health District understands that keeping your child safe is your top priority. Vaccines are safe and can help your child's immune system fight harmful germs. They protect against serious diseases and can even save lives. Because when it comes to your child's health, it's time to get real about vaccines and get the facts. Learn more at sa.gov/health. sa.gov/health.
Exclusive sponsor of Fiesta San Antonio, Gomez Law Firm encourages you to enjoy Fiesta responsibly. For more than 50 years, attorney Joe A. Gomez has been helping victims seriously injured in car and trucking accidents. If you've been injured in a car or trucking accident, hire personal injury attorney Joe Gomez. Born and raised right here in San Antonio. Visit joegomezlaw.com or call 210-736-4040 for a free consultation. Gomez Law fights. Gomez Law cares. Viva Fiesta.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
The NFL Draft continues tonight, rounds 2 and 3. Of course, last night, as expected, former Incarnate Word quarterback Cam Ward went number 1 overall to the Tennessee Titans. By the way, Hall of Fame quarterback Warren Moon made an appearance at Ward's press conference today and gave Ward his blessing to wear his number 1. Of course, that massive trade saw the Jags move up to number 2 to get Travis Hunter. And the Cowboys, what do they do in round 2?
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel, Jason Minix.
With the 12th pick, the Dallas Cowboys select Tyler Booker, guard, Alabama.
The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
The brand of football that I play, I make guys not love football anymore.
At the end of the day, it's football, and you go one way really, really fast, and if somebody gets
just doesn't quite sound the same.
Knock the poo out of them.
Yeah.
That's what football's all about. It's why we love it. Knocking the poo from people.
A safe pick. Not the flashy, sexy, explosive pick most of us were hoping for. I ain't mad at it, but I'm not rushing out to buy a 52 Booker jersey.
You're not?
No.
Why not? Apparently he's going to be the next Zach Martin.
I mean, it could be. I don't have a Zach Martin jersey either.
All right.
Although he's legendary status, I would actually get one now. It is odd that it becomes a safe pick for the Cowboys, which recent years is kind of what they've done. I just really thought Jerry was going to add a huge weapon. And by all accounts, they wanted McMillan. And when McMillan was gone, they went best player available. Trust your board. They tried to trade that pick, couldn't find a trade partner. So Tyler Booker is. And Tyler Booker will be on the show today. Close to 5 in the 4 o'clock hour.
That's what we're told. Huh?
I just got a text.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
The idea that, and we're off the air at 5 today because we've got round 2 and 3 coverage from ESPN Radio that gives us an early release day, which works out perfectly for those going to the Disturbed concert tonight down at the Frost Bank Center. Now, I digress because, you know, that was very convenient for me. But you look at it and you sit there and you go, all right, they go Tyler Booker. But it was a draft that, I don't know, Cam Ward goes 1, and then you had the big trade with Jacksonville to take Travis Hunter. Then it went kind of chalk until the Houston Texans said, we don't need a first-rounder. Let's give it to the Giants so they could take a quarterback. Although they didn't take the quarterback everybody thought they were going to take.
No, they didn't. They took Jackson Dart, although that's who Brian Daboll loved. I mean, he did, although they took a second look at Shadur Sanders and still went with Dart. I'm just seeing a tweet here from Pro Football Rumors that I think is fascinating. Bryce Young apparently was instrumental in convincing the Panthers to take McMillan at that pick, that he was that. And apparently, according to Pro Football Rumors, the Rams were trying to trade up to take McMillan. Interesting.
For a guy that a lot of people questioned, there was a lot of love for that guy.
Yeah.
Towards the end. Now, it's funny you use the term second look when talking about Jackson Dart. Let's talk more about that and second looks on the Headline Blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
Or maybe 3 or 4 looks.
You're definitely getting a second look. Jackson Dart's mom kind of stole the draft last night.
Jackson's mom has got it going on.
Zach Wilson's mom moved to the side. There's a new front runner.
Wow. How about that?
All of a sudden, her Instagram page is going nuts and getting a lot of looks because, well,
it should. I mean, I don't know what else do you say about that. She's very shiny.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Surely, if you were watching this last night, you noticed, wow, who's that? Huh? So did a lot of people, and the story I saw is old now, but apparently a lot of people started following her on Instagram last night. You know, the internet detectives last night, they went and found her page, and it's worth looking for, if you know what I mean.
Well, it is. I just happen to be looking at it right now.
Of course you are.
Very physically fit.
Research.
Yeah, very physically fit young lady or mom.
Yeah,
whatever
that's
you
a mom.
Whatever you want to call her.
There's a term for that.
So, yeah, it's funny how we, you don't think about it. Well, I don't know how old Jackson Dart is. What is he, 20, 21?
Maybe a little older than that. He's been in
Maybe
college
so.
a while.
Yeah,
I mean,
but still. So mom's in her 40s, probably.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Yeah. She's in shape.
Same with Zach Wilson's mom, who was, okay. And apparently her friends were better looking.
Well,
according to Zach, anyway.
Well, Zach can't. I mean.
Well, yeah, who knows?
Dude, don't even.
You grew up in Utah? I don't know. Is that legal there or what?
No. Yeah.
Well, no rumors about Jackson Dart being a MILF hunter at this point in time. So
he is in New York now, though.
Well, he is.
I mean, now that Zach is in Miami.
Both of those guys target rich environments, probably. Huh?
I mean, they had a lot of friends for a variety of reasons. I mean, so you had Jackson Dart's mom that originally stole the show. The Kelvin Banks, though, that was a little bit grosser. Now, I didn't notice it live. Now,
I didn't either.
We're sitting at the Rue Pub, and Matt Roy from Channel 4 and KBB, his wife was there, who is Jordan Elder, who is an anchor and reporter there at News 4 and KBB. And I'm sitting next to Jordan. Kelvin Banks gets picked, and she's staring at the baby. And the baby threw up. And Jordan's reaction to the baby throwing up was priceless. I wish that was on video because, quite frankly, I wasn't looking at the baby and didn't notice it, but the replay was certainly there. Nobody needs to see a reversal like that. And I think the baby realizes going to New Orleans, of all places, the baby throws up. I hope that's not a sign.
Well, the kid knows New Orleans sucks. So now he's got to live in New Orleans and grow up there, or at least for a few years anyway.
The kid will learn to love red beans and rice.
Well, I'm sure, but I mean, my goodness.
But the timing of the baby puke.
It was genius. The baby just pukes all over the place, and it's that baby milk stuff that puke. You know what I mean?
Just stop.
Yeah.
I just the difference of only the ladies in our group noticed the baby throw up. None of us guys actually saw it.
Well,
you didn't see it originally, but
No.
your wife did, my wife did, Jordan did. Jordan's reaction was incredible. And we had to wait for the replay before we all saw it, which tells you the difference when you're watching a draft. You know, we're looking at players and they're looking at babies.
I was looking at Kelvin Banks just thinking, man, this is great. This guy's so emotional. He's crying. He's happy. His dreams have come true. He's going to be an NFL player. And, all the women are looking at it. Did you see that baby just throw up?
Yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't see it.
Of all the stuff, man, I'm being sentimental. Tears welling up in the eyes because, Kelvin's so happy.
Yeah. Yeah, baby's
and they're
puking
watching
all
babies
over the place.
puking. Wow.
I don't get it.
Well, I don't either, but, women and babies.
Puking babies. I didn't need to see that. And I would have been just fine not seeing the replay of that.
I get it. Mom, wait a minute, Mom. We're going to New Orleans? Perfect reaction from that kid.
Joe Reinagle. Come on.
Jeez.
Although a little surprising that Lil Kellen Moore would take an offensive lineman.
Yeah, kind of surprised. Man, no quarterback.
Probably he was going to take McMillan if McMillan was there, because I think we're all going to be able to say that. We could have had McMillan, but, once the Panthers screwed that up.
Well, what's interesting about that tidbit, that the coach of the Panthers was on Kay Adams' show a couple of days before the draft, and he sold it well. He says, no, we got to fix that defense. We got to concentrate on the defense. And so I think, if you're another team, you're looking at that, you think, well, the Panthers aren't any team to worry about.
They are. Well, look. Everybody was upset that the Panthers took our guy.
I almost threw up.
And I don't care what team, Baby Joe.
Yes.
Just nearly spit up. You were spewing things.
Dude, I was pissed off.
You were spewing things.
I was pissed.
You took it personal.
Well, I did. I got a little
Carolina
upset.
took McMillan.
I hate Carolina now, by the way.
And my first question to you was, how much money did you put on that you just lost? Because
I did,
the only way I see Joe Reinagle get that kind of reaction when he loses a bet.
For a non-Cowboy fan, maybe I'm...
You are a Cowboy fan.
Okay. I really thought that would have been a perfect fit for the Dallas Cowboys. And I was really hoping as we kept going down the line, saying this is going to play out perfectly. We're going to be talking about Ted McMillan, and boom.
Yeah.
Carolina sneaks up,
Yeah.
pulls the ambush.
Well, Dak needed weapons, so does Bryce. Your reaction, very similar to Micah Parsons last night on his Bleacher Report live stream.
The Carolina Panthers and GM Dan Morgan are selecting, I am shocked, Teteroa McMillan, the wide receiver.
I knew they were going to take him. Ooh.
Who did you think it was going to be? You thought it was going to be Jalen Walker?
No. That was supposed to be our pick. That's what they wanted.
How you feeling right now?
I'm hurt. You'll be all right, bro. You'll be all right. He was supposed to be opposite of CD Lamb. Well, you got to find somebody else. I'm sorry, brother. You got to find somebody else.
That's it. I was just, man. I haven't been that bought into a draft pick in a long time, but I just thought that it would have been perfect bookends for the Cowboys. CD on one side, McMillan on the other, and I thought, man, it would have set up perfect. So it was disappointing, to say the least.
And disappointing is probably a very light way of describing Shadur Sanders yesterday. Shadur Sanders falls all the way out of the first round, if you haven't heard. I know not enough people are talking about the slide all the way out of the first round for one Shadur Sanders, but he did not get picked last night. Now, he wasn't in Green Bay. He had his own draft party. Everything legendary in that house, big packed house all ready to celebrate him getting picked in the first round. Didn't happen. But I will give Shadur Sanders a ton of credit. When the draft was over and he was not picked, he didn't go and hide. He stood up in front of the room, in front of that entire party, and delivered a hell of a message.
We all didn't expect this, of course, but I feel like with God, anything possible, everything possible. I don't feel like this happened, for no reason. all this is of course, fuel to the fire. And under no circumstance, we all know this shouldn't have happened. But we understand we're on the bigger and better things. Tomorrow's the day. We're going to be happy regardless. Legendary.
Classy speech, and I'm happy that he did that. And trust me, my whole rant today has nothing to do with Shadur. You feel bad for the kid, but a lot of quarterbacks have been in that situation where they're expected to be taken higher and they're not, and then they go on, and some of them have pretty good careers. The Cleveland Browns have 3 picks tonight in the second round. 3.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Cleveland, Shadur.
I mean, it feels that way. It certainly feels that way. But it was a surprise that he did slide all the way down, and do expect him to go pretty early tonight. But we will see. Because, again, we've talked about it all. It was not a good quarterback class. And
no,
the Giants seemingly did more homework on Shadur and still went Jackson Dart. Moved up to go get Jackson Dart.
And I just wonder what that says. They just, for whatever reason, like Jackson Dart better than what they saw from Shadur Sanders. So, I mean, you can't fault the Giants. That's who they want. That's who they picked, and we'll see if it works out or not.
It's going to be very interesting, and the Texans have a ton of picks in the second round. Let's talk about it. Coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It is a Fiesta Friday. Fiesta now in full swing. Everybody's going out to have a good time. None of you plan on getting arrested, but it's Fiesta. Some of you will. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, you know the best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text the word bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They are discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. Up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between. License number 149. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, the draft has come and gone. We'll break down everything that happened over the weekend.
Count your cups and shake out all that Coscaroni dust. We got a lot to talk about. NBA playoffs are now in full swing. Get here early. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by Tax Relief Advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-7147. 800-575-7147. That's 800-575-7147, or simply visit TRA.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
And Doug.
Quickly, Moo. We don't have much time. This Liberty ad is already almost over. We only have a few precious seconds to remind people to customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Okay. Well, I guess we had more time than I thought.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Hi, it's me, your USPS Ground Advantage shipment. Just left the warehouse and hitting the road.
I know. Just got the notification.
Great. Smooth sailing so far. I'm almost there.
Yes, I know. I get all the updates.
Made it. Safe and sound.
I know.
Well, did you know I was with USPS the whole time?
Oh, yeah. I know.
Keep your business in the know with the USPS Ground Advantage service. Visit USPS.com/in-the-know.
Wilco, live in concert. Sweet and Sour Spring 2025. VSB May 6th. With special guest, Waxahachie. Wilco. Get tickets now at livenation.com. For more, visit wilcoworld.net.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
Gentlemen, testosterone levels can start dropping in your 30s, leading to low energy, reduced libido, and slower metabolism. Rock's Discount Vitamins is making it easy to take back control. No appointments and no prescriptions. Just head into a Rock's and walk out with a natural solution tailored to you. Our powerful line of natural testosterone boosters can help increase energy, build muscle, rev up your metabolism, and reignite your drive. You'll feel the difference and fast. Visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God in South Texas.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free.
Listen to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on your Amazon or Google smart speaker and just say, Alexa, play 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Maybe you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. You can comment there as we react to the draft. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Tyler Booker is the pick. Guard. A lot of us wanted a wide receiver. Most mocks had the Cowboys going with a wide receiver. Now, most mocks, the receiver that they had pegged to the Cowboys wasn't available at 12.
Right.
So are they in the market for a wide receiver tonight? I see a tweet from R.J. Ochoa. Stephen Jones on 105.3 The Fan earlier said the Cowboys feel like they have some wide receivers who they can develop into that 2 spot.
Aha.
When talking about not reaching on players at certain positions. Now, they got a lot of guys that are in the wide receiver room.
They do.
But do you look at any of those guys and say, yep, that guy could be? I mean, Jalen Tolbert has proven he can be a solid 3. Not Turpin. Jonathan Mingo, 4th-round pick. And you got to look at him as 4th-round pick this year because that's what they gave up for him. But based on what we've seen from Jonathan Mingo, and I know I've said this the last couple of days, they've had him in the building. They know what they have in Jonathan Mingo. Maybe they think he could be that guy. I don't think he could be that guy. Or is that just Stephen Jones not trying to tell us all that they're going to take a wide receiver tonight? Could that be a smokescreen? Although the reactions to the tweets are, well, exactly what you think it would be.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Look, Jon Machota joined us earlier here on the Blitz. If you missed that, you shouldn't have. But he clearly said that the Cowboys think higher of Jonathan Mingo than the outside folks do, us, and also Tyler Guyton, who's been catching a lot of crap. I mean, really has. He didn't play well in his rookie year. As a number 1 draft pick, you expect those guys to do that. He didn't. Hopefully he'll be better. But hopefully it is a smokescreen, Jason, because who is going to develop in that? Look, I think Tolbert's had his opportunity. He's had the opportunity to grab that number 2 position as a wide receiver, and he hasn't been able to do it. Has he gotten better? I think you could say he has to some extent, but he's not a number 2. They clearly think Jonathan Mingo is that guy or can be that guy. And I think that's the only reason they went out and traded a 4th-round pick for this guy. So can he be? Well, time will tell. I'm not excited about it, but maybe Jonathan Mingo is that guy.
And, he's got the size. He didn't really have a fair opportunity last year after he got acquired by the Dallas Cowboys. But they've watched him in practice. They've watched him in the room. They've been able to work with him. So there's either a belief that he is that guy, not can be, but is, and they don't have to reach at wide receiver tonight, which is one of the reasons why they made that trade when they did. And again, every time the Cowboys acquire somebody, they've got a laminated index card that Steven will go to for all his answers during interviews where they talk about we really liked him coming out of college.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, and he said that when they got him, and they felt like for a 4th-round pick that was good value for what they hoped he could turn into. Jalen Brooks probably isn't that guy. Tolbert has gotten better every year, and Dak Prescott really, really likes Jalen Tolbert, and they work out a lot together. And you could say what you want about Dak, but every quarterback works out with some of their guys that they trust a lot, and that relationship is there. Jalen Tolbert did lead the Cowboys in receiving touchdowns last year, but I think that was more because CD was getting so much attention, and he was wide open because they didn't think he could catch. So the idea, and Tolbert has gotten better, but to be a wide receiver too, Mingo is tall. He's that big red zone guy. I don't know what to make of these comments from Stephen Jones. Either solid smokescreen, which isn't his style, or if they really believe that, I don't know that they've earned our trust as a fan base, right? And, it ain't in pop we trust up there in Dallas when you're talking about guys like that.
No, and Cowboys realize that. I think what they've done going out running back wise, getting the 2 guys that they've brought in, they realized that they needed some help in the running back room. Whether that means they're going to draft a running back before this draft is over on Saturday night or not remains to be seen. But I think if you're looking at both of those rooms right now, and you say, what is the priority, running back or wide receiver? It's clearly wide receiver. But is there anybody left in the draft that you think could step in and be that number 2 guy? I mean, we were talking a lot about Golden yesterday. We're talking a lot about McMillan yesterday. Both of those guys, I think, clearly could assume that role. After that, and then the kid from Ohio State that went last night, perhaps him. You've got the guy from Missouri, Burden, right?
Yeah, so, Luther Burden.
Yeah, so maybe he's the last one available. If he's not there, is there anybody left in the draft that can assume that position? I'm not sure that there is. So just going by what Jon Machota told us, maybe the Cowboys, if they don't address that need in the draft, they go out and make a deal for a veteran wide receiver. You can only hope at this point in time.
Now, in last night's pick kind of proves none of us really know what the Cowboys want. We all have an idea of what we want for the Dallas Cowboys. On our YouTube channel right now, Sam is asking, if both are available, who do you take? Travion Henderson or Luther Burden?
Woo!
And I'm gonna answer this without answering, and I don't want to sound like I'm riding the fence. Luther Burden's about 5'10", 5'11", right? McMillan was 6'4", and a lot of interest in McMillan. And they let Matthew Golden slide on by. So are they looking for a 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" type wide receiver, or are they looking for a speedster? and it looks like they would rather have the size. You look at Mingo, you look at the attention that McMillan was getting for the Dallas Cowboys, and so if they're looking for one of those tall red zone target, big target, over the middle kind of target wide receivers, then maybe you don't take Luther Burden and you take the running back. But if you are looking for a big old wide receiver, then you got Jaden Higgins out of Iowa State, who's a 6'4" guy. He certainly fills that bill. He's a second, third round type wide receiver. But if you're just looking for speed, but not necessarily the 6'3", 6'4" type, Burden, Kyle Williams out of Washington State, there's some options there that are going to be there in the third round, likely, where you could take the running back in the second round.
You could, and look, if that, I'm going to be clear. I'm taking Henderson all day. If those are my choices, Sam, I'm taking Travion Henderson all day long, and it wouldn't even be a question mark for me because I think Henderson can be a bell cow running back. I'm not sure that Luther Burden can come in and be your number two. That's what I'm saying. I don't know that there's anybody left in the draft that you could automatically assume, oh, that's the guy that's going to line up on the other side of C.D. Lamb. I think those guys are gone, and I think they left in the first round. Now, can they develop into that? Of course. But I think a Travion Henderson would be a guy that could step in game one and be your starting running back.
Now, that said, Tyler Booker already anointed a day one starter.
Mm-hmm.
Immediate impact, so you check that box, good pick for the Cowboys, not a project. Day two picks, you want them to be able to come in and have an impact right away. Henderson certainly does. Judkins from Ohio State, but either Ohio State running back, I think, can come in and fill that bill.
Sure.
Even Sampson from Tennessee could probably come in and fill that bill. Plus, they did pick up a couple of running backs in free agency, so it's not like you're trying to get a bell cow running back that's going to get 25, 30 carries a game. And keep in mind, it's the NFL today. It's all by committee to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
And the Iowa running back, Caleb Johnson, right? I don't know that he'll still be there, though, because there's a lot of talk about him being, so I'm with you. I'm thinking more running back than wide receiver when I think about the available wide receivers, unless in that room, and we don't have this information, nobody does, in that room, if Schottenheimer and the offensive staff want a tall wide receiver, and that is their priority, then you start looking around and saying, which one do you think is going to be available there in their projections?
Well, look, I firmly think they're going to take both. I think they'll take a wide receiver. I think they'll take a running back. But I think the running backs, and you're talking about both of those guys from Ohio State, because I think Henderson's going to be gone early. I think he'll be gone before the Cowboys draft in the second round. Judkins could still be there. And I think if he is, then yeah, absolutely. I think you take the guy. I think running back at this point in time, just simply because I think, and in all my NFL scout experience,
all of it,
I just think that the wide receiver, a plug-in number two, is gone. That opportunity went by the wayside last night. And again, develop a guy into it. What's Jonathan Mingo going to be like? Maybe the Cowboys go out and find another veteran like they did with a Brandon Cooks or an Amari Cooper type, somebody like that they can bring in to plug in at number two. I just don't think there's anybody left in the draft that can be that guy. Certainly not day one. Maybe they develop into it later, and that's what Steven's talking about. I just think if you can have a running back like a Travion Henderson or a Judkins that you can plug in, and I think that they can be the number one guy right away.
Now, could I see the Cowboys moving up if Henderson is sitting there since they tried to trade yesterday and they didn't get it done? Maybe. Could I also see, and just going on the most recent drafts from this group, I don't know that I'd be overly surprised based on what I saw last night, is when the Cowboys pick rolls around at, where are they picking today?
44.
44. if the guys that they wanted, like you just mentioned, Burden's gone, Henderson's gone, do they get a big defensive tackle? Or corner. But I wouldn't be surprised at defensive tackle just listening to Schottenheimer and Will McClay talk last night about the trenches, and that's where it all starts. And, you know, all you can do is hear them and try to interpret what they're telling you.
Another fat guy.
And again, not sexy, but certainly needed, which could also spell the end for one Mozzie Smith.
Well, that's very true.
And so, again, what we think they need, and they're sitting there in their room and they know exactly what they're looking for, that's what makes the draft so much fun. We're predicting what they might do. They're using those conversations in the room, and I think last night showed they like these guys. Then they went best player available.
Yep.
And trust your draft board. If the guys you want, they're not reaching. And I think Steven and Jerry and Schottenheimer and Will McClay, from Tuesday's pre-draft press conference to what we heard last night, have been very clear that they are not going to reach for guys that don't match their board.
I think you saw a lot of that last night. I think you look at the New York Giants at 3. Obviously, I think that guy was the best. Carter was the best pick, but it's safe. They could have very well gone with Shadur Sanders there, saying, we need a quarterback, we're going to take another shot. They didn't do that. They didn't gamble. And they went with Abdul Carter, who is the safe pick, and a guy that's going to help them right away, where Sanders wasn't. So, and I think the Cowboys are thinking the same way. You got a guy last night that you're going to plug in day one, and he's going to help you right away. You hope he turns into the lineman you think he can be. And I think a lot of NFL teams are going to do that. You look at the Jags, they took a shot, and they're hoping that Travis Hunter is the guy that everybody says he is and will be that way for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So it's interesting, man, and that's what makes the NFL draft so much fun.
It is a blast. Let's talk more draft coming up here on the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
First, though, I want to talk about Stevens Roofing. Love talking about Stevens Roofing because they're such a great family. This is a family-owned business, a locally based business. That's what they're the nicest folks you ever want to meet, and they want to do you right. And you know that that's true simply because they've been in business for as long as they've been in business, and they've got a long, long, long list of satisfied customers. Not only that, if they do some work for you and you've got a question or a problem, all you have to do is call them, and they're going to come out and take care of it. All right, it's not like some national company that you can't get a hold of, and it's like, well, we'll be there 3 weeks from Sunday. That's not Stevens Roofing. They're going to take care of the problem when you have a problem. And right now, you might have a problem. We've had some bad storms. There's more storms in the forecast. Hail, wind, rain, all of that kind of stuff that can do damage to your roof. What you want to do while we're still in the spring storm season is make sure that your roof is ready to go, that it's okay and there are no problems. Well, all you have to do is call Stevens Roofing and Solar at 210-785-0994. Get a free, no-obligation roof inspection. They'll come out, they'll send a crew, they'll check your roof out, and whether they think you need a new roof, they think you need a minor repair, or just give you a simple confirmation that your roof is in great shape, it's all going to give you that peace of mind that you want and that you deserve when the storms come rolling through. Look, Stevens Roofing and Solar is the name you need to remember. The number you need to remember is 210-785-0994. Get that peace of mind that you want, and you know that your family is safe when the storms come back. Stevens Roofing, 210-785-0994.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, the draft has come and gone. We'll break down everything that happened over the weekend.
Count your cups and shake out all that Coscaroni dust. We got a lot to talk about. NBA playoffs are now in full swing. Get here early. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Listen up, Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. So let's do it again and get vaccinated. We're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults under 50. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit vaxassist.com to schedule. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's gonna audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know that 70% of divorces are filed by women? She's already thinking about it. I urge you, do not get caught off guard. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, attorneys at law. Divorce is tough. It's emotional, challenging, and can upend everything you've worked hard for. But here's the truth. You have a choice. You can either let your spouse dictate the terms, or you can take control and protect your financial future. At Barton & Associates, this isn't just about getting through the process. It's about protecting what you've built, securing your assets, and ensuring you have the resources to move forward with confidence. You've worked hard for everything you have, and we're here to help safeguard it and avoid unnecessary losses. If you're serious about protecting yourself through the divorce process and securing your future, Barton & Associates is the team you need by your side. Call 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-million. Or visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
It's the final days of Diamonds Direct's annual spring sale. This is your last chance to get an extra 20% off our already renowned prices. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off your purchase. But hurry, these savings end soon. And this weekend only, we're open Sunday to give you an extra day to shop our expanded selection of trending engagement ring settings, his and hers wedding bands, must-have fine jewelry, and more. Time is running out. 20% off, store-wide savings. Visit DiamondsDirect.com for details.
Point. Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at Metamucil.com.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, a San Antonio sports star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. You can always get us on Twitter, Instagram, at Joe Reinagle 210, at Jason Minix. I see old Art Garcia tweeted in. He's trying to win some Brahmas tickets. And we've got another 4-pack that we're going to give away before 5 o'clock, so keep it tuned here on at 94.1 as San Antonio Sports Stars. They get ready for their home opener coming up on Sunday. It's weird. It's Game 5, and it's their first home game. So pack the dome on Sunday.
Plus $3 beer and $3 margaritas before the game. My goodness.
Yeah, that's a good happy hour.
Yeah, you can get pretty, you feel kind of tipsy before you walk in there.
Mm-hmm. All right, Shabuzi.
Yeah.
Everybody in the dome getting tipsy.
It's a great song.
Well, we should rewrite that.
Great song.
It is. It's the only good song that dude has.
Well, there's a few others. I listen to Shabuzi every now and then.
We were at the Shabuzi concert at the Super Bowl. He played 2 good songs, and I thought it was the same song twice.
He did the Tipsy song lasted a long time.
It over and over. Like, I got 7 more minutes. I keep it going. In the crowd, walking around. It was fun, but the rest of his stuff was kind of boring.
Yeah. Well,
it was kind of boring.
All right, kind of was.
I mean, you were in the bathroom for the most of it.
Was Jelly Roll in there?
No, he was getting ready. He
was
performed
backstage.
after.
He was after.
Jelly Roll was after Shabuzi. But Shabuzi was fun, because he kind of got out in the crowd and was singing. And I think the guys, I like him.
Would you go see him in concert again?
Now, I don't know if I'd pay for it, which I didn't have to pay for this one.
Thank God, those Madden party tickets are
they're
expensive.
expensive, right? We know.
Thank you.
We know people that know people.
Yes.
So we were fortunate enough to sneak in there for free. But, your boy Dak Prescott was there.
He was.
Yeah, he was.
He was.
There were a lot of NFL players there, in fact, sitting up in their private little balcony up there.
It's the Super Bowl, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of people. Although they're expensive tickets, cool, but everything else is free. Free beer, free.
Yes.
Although the food was kind of lame. It was.
The food was lame.
Yeah.
There really wasn't food.
No, it was stale pretzels and and popcorn.
But
free
who
beer
cares?
and everything else.
That's it.
So like Shabuzi's on, and our first song was like, all right, I got to pee and go to the bar.
Exactly.
All right, bring one back.
But I got back for the bar song, and
that was the best part.
Mattered. Yeah,
all that mattered. First round of the NFL draft last night. So freaking cool to watch Cameron Ward get drafted number 1 overall. Well, it was no surprise. And anybody that was around Incarnate Word football when he was here, your pride is there. Even just knowing that he's got San Antonio ties and goes number 1 overall. And I appreciate, at least on social media, UIW owning. We had him first. And some of the graphics that they came up with, it was outstanding. And Cam Ward, just emotional after the pick. You could hear it, even though he knew it was going to happen. Gets on a private plane this morning that I always find interesting when I see that plane. It's got the Titans logo on the tail, and the doors are walking in is the old Oiler Derek.
That'll trigger all those Houston people.
Well, that's what they try to do.
Pledge right now.
And Cam Ward, at his press conference today, they interrupt the press conference with a surprise for Cam Ward, and the surprise was Warren Moon walking out and handing Cam Ward a number 1 jersey with Ward on the back. And there was some stories leading up to what number was he going to wear at Tennessee, because the Tennessee Titans retired Warren Moon's Oiler jersey number 1. Even though he never played for the Tennessee Titans, all that history is there. And you could even see it on the plane with the Derek. I mean, that lady just loves the Oiler Derek.
Dude, it is the Houston Oilers. It was the Houston Oilers that moved to Tennessee, so it is the same thing. It's not the Texans. They have nothing to do with the Houston Oilers. So it is the same franchise.
I don't know.
Of course it is.
I don't see any
same owner.
Seattle Sonic players jersey that got retired hanging in Oklahoma City.
Dude, I'm telling. Well, it should be.
Well, I mean,
it's the same franchise.
When Seattle gets another team, they're going to be the Sonics, and that history stays within the city.
Well, they were nice enough, but it wasn't the feud that was with the city of Houston and the Oiler franchise.
It's a long-standing pissing match between,
and it always will be. And I hope they keep that Houston Oiler logo on that plane as long as they want to. Quite frankly, I'm pissed off that they're not going to wear the Love You Blue jerseys and the most beautiful uniforms in the history of uniforms.
Yes, all of that. Trying to follow along. Now,
you agree, Pledge.
Now, what's very cool, though, is Warren Moon very gracious to allow Cam Ward to wear number 1. And listening to Warren Moon today, the thought that he put into allowing Cameron Ward to wear jersey number 1.
As far as the number and everything is concerned, I wore the number 1 for a lot of different reasons, and I wore it for a long time, starting back in 1976 when I was in college. And I think I wore it very honorably for the Houston Oilers organization to the point to where I created a Hall of Fame career for myself. Now I'm part of the Tennessee Titans family, and my Houston Oilers jersey will probably never be worn again. I hope it won't. But the Tennessee Titans jersey is going to be worn by Cam, and Cam will be starting a new, not regime here, but just a new freshness in this organization to kind of revitalize it and get it back to where it was a number of years ago, one of the more successful organizations in the league. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do with his legacy wearing this number, and I'm proud of the things that I did to establish my legacy with the time I wore that number. So, Cam, I'm going to be watching your career. I'm here for you. I'm going to help you as much as I can possibly do it whenever you need me, and just wish you the best of luck. And you come from a great family. I think that's where a lot of it starts, and I think you'll do well here. So congratulations on being the #1 overall pick, and now the work gets started. All right?
That's right. And you heard Warren Moon. He's a proud part of the Tennessee Titans family.
He could barely spit those words out.
Well, he was going to say Houston. It's the same franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Same franchise.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why anybody, those are just facts. It's the same franchise.
You know, as the Tennessee Titans tweeted out, one of ones, and it's a picture of Cam Ward and Warren Moon with the Ward jersey with the Tennessee Titans colors. Now, you heard Warren. Nobody's wearing the Oilers one. Pledge quick to point out. What about when they do wear those throwbacks?
Well, obviously they're not, and I'm pissed about it, and they should, and I'm sure Warren would make an exception. It's the same franchise. Deal with it.
I do appreciate the Warren Moon blessing, and that's the only way it could work. Because I was really starting to wonder if Cam would wear one or say, Warren Moon, you're Warren Moon. Because a lot of the graphics last night were Cam Ward from a college jersey wearing one to the Titans one and round one pick one. So I was wondering if he was going to go 11, right? Even though he wore 7 at Incarnate Word and he wore 7 in high school. But the round one pick one and the way those graphics were, I was wondering if he was going to actually show up and wear number 11. And maybe that was the number he would have chosen if Warren Moon did not give the blessing for him to wear number 1.
Because Cam Ward is a respectful young man. And the only way this happens, because any other way, it would have looked bad. The fact that they orchestrated this and Warren Moon said, yes, this is how it's going to happen. It's the only way it could have happened. And I firmly believe, and I don't know this for a fact, and the next time we talk to Cam Ward, we'll ask him. But he may have been thinking about another number. But the fact that Warren Moon did and the Houston Oilers Tennessee Titan franchise brought Warren Moon out today to tell him that you have my blessing, young man. Go do well. I think it was fantastic. And what a great honor for Cam Ward to get to be in the presence of a Hall of Fame quarterback that did the things that Warren Moon did. I think it's fantastic.
All of it is just so incredible. And it's very cool watching the emotion of the draft, the raw, you saw it with Kelvin Banks and his baby. A lot of raw there. But, the excitement level, Travis Hunter, I don't know if he was excited that he was going to Jacksonville or not going to Cleveland. Maybe it was a little bit of both, but that kid's reaction, watching the draft and watching these players realize their dreams is so cool. And, I know most of the storylines today were about Shadur not getting picked. He's going to get picked. But it's just fun to watch.
By Cleveland.
By Cleveland.
Most likely. I mean, maybe not, but most likely.
Well, it's crazy when you look. Cleveland's got a ton of picks today. The Houston Texans have a ton of picks today. It's going to be interesting to see what Nick Caserio does with Houston and the picks that they have today. Little surprised that they traded out of the first round. And I know Pledge is like, no. I'm a little surprised because I thought Nick Caserio might try to move up and get some guys because that's just typically his MO. But he is a smart general manager, and this draft, there's not a lot of reason to trade up to go get somebody. You don't have to overpay.
And he's got 2 picks in the second round and 3 in the third. I mean, they can assemble, a pretty good, some pretty good talent with those 5 picks tonight, or use some of those and wheel and deal. So I don't think the Houston Texans have even begun. Obviously, they haven't because they didn't have a first-round pick. But, I think it was wise of them to trade with the Giants. Giants wanted it, and Houston just stockpiled some picks. I love Nick Caserio. I think he's one of the best general managers in the National Football League. Mm-hmm. And I think what he does is fantastic. And I think what he did last night was perfect for what they're looking for.
Although, could you imagine being a Houston Texan fan last night in Houston at their big draft party that they had?
Nothing.
I mean, they had this whole big thing. People were at. Even Jon McClain was like, I'm up in the press box. I'm not at that party. There's too many damn people out there. And you have this whole party for nothing.
Well, they need to have another one tonight because that's when the fireworks begin.
Yeah, clearly. But could you imagine last night you spend all night waiting for pick 25 to hear you traded it to the New York Giants and they're going to take Jacksonville?
They had food and drink. What the hell? They were happy.
Yeah, but it wasn't free.
Well,
you spent a whole lot of money not to watch anything.
Yeah, I bet you they had a great time. Anyway.
I'm sure they did.
Just watching Travis Hunter's dance was worth the price of admission.
Dude, look at Tyler Booker. He's on TV right now. They're showing this guy come out.
Yeah, I thought he was going to break Roger Goodell.
He tried, man. He likes to make people not like football, man. That's legal assault right there. His words.
Dude. That's $40 million a year, isn't it? Or more than that now.
Who?
Goodell.
He's got some protection now.
Yeah.
Booker.
Mm-hmm.
Booker. Let's talk about the Cowboys picking another guy named Tyler. I mean, you talk about checking all the boxes.
No kidding.
His name is Tyler? Well, we like him.
Yeah. Tyler. There'll be 3 Tylers on that offensive line.
You got to be named Tyler on offensive line and Jalen in the wide receiver room. The Great Wall of Tyler.
I'm surprised that his name's Steven. And not Tyler or Jalen. Jalen Jones.
Give him time. Give him time. Second round, third round of the draft tonight. NBA playoffs tonight. Hockey continues tonight. You need a place to go watch all of it. Get into the Roo Pub there at 281 and Redland Road with those 3 massive 170-inch screens, TVs all around. No better place to go watch any big game, any big fight. When you go to the Roo Pub, go hungry. The food is fantastic. I've said many times, if the Roo Pub wasn't a great bar, it'd be a great restaurant. In fact, it is both. They have the biggest and best wings in town. I love their fried shrimp. They have about 15 different burgers on that menu. They've got the original Wemby burger. They've got a great bison burger. And Matt Roy from Channel 4 said last night the Reuben burger that he had might be the best burger he's ever had in his life. Great salads, great appetizers, and that kitchen is open late every day with the full menu available. So when you need a late-night meal, don't go to a drive-thru. Get into the Roo Pub there at 281 and Redland Road. Happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night. And the best place to watch any big game, watch the draft tonight, just down from the big blind right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 and Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
From the San Antonio Sports Star Studios, sponsored by George Salinas Injury Lawyers. This is KTFM Floresville.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
Tragically, recent data reveals that 40% of women in Texas will experience intimate partner violence. Christie's Hope is dedicated to breaking the cycle of domestic violence by providing shelter, healing and counseling, and empowering survivors to take their first steps towards lasting safety and independence. Thomas J. Henry stands with us in our commitment to end domestic violence. Donate today at christieshope.org.
Guys over 40, tired of feeling tired? Testosterone therapy by Synergenics is the answer. This April, the consultation is free. Treatment covered by most major insurance. Don't wait for online beds. Walk into their clinic, see a provider, feel great today. Book now at fixmylowt.com.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by Tax Relief Advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-7147, 800-575-7147. That's 800-575-7147, or simply visit TRA.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Barbecue season is back. Hey, it's Ellen. And this is Sarah Beth. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that zesty barbecue sauce. I love that it was a little sweet, a little tangy, and with the mac and cheese,
I feel like I tasted the brown sugar bacon first. It was the absolute best combination. Pro tip, 3 sandwiches are always better than 1.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and our Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Believe it or not, the NBA playoffs are still going on. We have more Game 3s. The Celtics up 2-0. They're in Orlando tonight to take on the Magic. That will begin at 6 o'clock. Pacers head to Milwaukee to take on the Bucks. The Pacers are up 2-0. Then the Lakers and the Timberwolves meet up at 8:30. That series tied at a game apiece. By the way, Cavs big man Evan Mobley won Defensive Player of the Year.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel, Jason Minix.
With the 12th pick, the Dallas Cowboys select Tyler Booker, guard, Alabama.
The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
The brand of football that I play, I make guys not love football anymore.
At the end of the day, it's football, and you go one way really, really fast, and if somebody gets in your way, you knock the out of them.
Mm-hmm. Knock the snot out of them.
The poo.
The
poo.
Happy Fiesta Friday. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Appreciate you tuning in, driving around, getting wherever you're going, whatever Fiesta event. If you're watching on YouTube, appreciate it. Although we've got a little fight going on in the YouTube chat. Kids, we're going to turn this car around if you don't knock it off.
It's a great little community in there. It's fantastic. You guys are great.
Claymore and Chris Summers, man, come on, dudes.
Well, look, Claymore is the voice of reason in there. I'm telling you because, Chris wants to talk about number 2.
Well, so apparently does Justin Guerrero.
And nobody wants to talk about number 2.
No.
The series is not over. Denver got blown out. If the last time I checked, it only counts as 1 loss, doesn't it?
Yes, Joe.
Okay, so it's just 1 loss.
Although, what has happened to the Joker? He knows he's not going to win MVP, so now he's playing like a non-MVP?
Well, he needs some help.
He's got to do his part.
Well, sure.
The last 2 nights.
What do you mean last 2 nights?
The last 2 nights, the last 2 games for the Joker, I've gone higher on my underdog entries, and he has cost me to lose. That son of a – yeah. And not even close.
He had a triple-double in Game 2. I don't know what you want from him.
I wanted him to have higher than the point total that he didn't get to.
I got you. He'll show up in Game 4.
That's what you said about Game 3.
That series will go back to Denver tied at 2.
Either way, you guys want to jump in there and pile on the so-called whatever fans of that team and person we don't talk about.
Yes.
They're all fair game in my book, although we will turn the car around.
That's not who we are. Knock off the booing.
That is exactly who we are, and we will continue to boo that guy.
I hope so.
Forever and ever and ever.
Yes. He deserves it. Yes.
Although, and honestly, outside of what was on at the Rue Pub last night, I didn't watch much. That Jon Morant play last night, holy cow, that had to hurt.
Yeah, well, dude, Oklahoma City tried. Said, Memphis, and we know you're feeling bad. We're going to give you a win. And then Memphis couldn't even, they said, nah, we're good. We just want to go to Cabo. We're done. That's it. 29-point lead, largest rally in NBA history or point deficit come from behind. That's incredible. Incredible. Memphis, not OKC, we're good. You guys go ahead and win.
Well, I couldn't believe that Memphis had the lead like they did for as long as they did. And obviously that was on there at the Rue Pub. And I'm not paying attention to the game at all. Just you look up, you see a score, you see some plays, but I'm not intently watching. But the reality is, wow, that was quite a comeback from Oklahoma City. And I still think there ain't nobody beating Oklahoma City. They are going to win a championship this year.
I just think I could hear Memphis in the huddle right now. Guys, do you really want to go back to Oklahoma City? I really don't. I don't have time for it. Now Jon Morant's out for Game 4. So it's like, dude, Oklahoma City, we've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go back there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's blow this 29-point lead. They did.
They did. Hey, look, they made history.
They did.
It's not the history that you want to be a part of, but they did. They did make history.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight, the games. I'll follow scores on my phone. Quite honestly, you got the draft, but I'll be at the Disturbed concert. But I
want to watch the Lakers game. I want to see what happens there.
I don't know that I've ever heard those words come out of your mouth.
Well,
not quite like that, but I know what you mean. I mean,
I think that's probably the best game of the night, maybe.
Yeah, in Minnesota at home, favored by 3.5.
Yeah, over
the Lakers. Bucks, Pacers, Celtics, Magic. Yeah, good thing the draft is on. Because outside of Lakers, Minnesota, it's not an attractive night. In the NBA.
Well, that Pacers-Bucks game could be good. The Bucks are desperate. They're back home. They look. I like the Pacers team. That team's good. I like watching them play. I really do. And I like what Houston did to Golden State the other day.
Mm-hmm.
They just bullied them.
We'll have to see how that overrated Tyrese Halliburton plays tonight.
Exactly. He was far from overrated in Game 2, that's for sure.
That he was. It will be an interesting night in the NBA. But with the draft continuing, draft probably going to have most of your attention. Tyler Booker, the Cowboys' first-round pick, scheduled to join us at any moment now. So stick around. Tyler Booker at some point, probably within the next 30, 40 minutes is what we're being told right now. So stick around to hear from the Cowboys' first-round pick. As far as the NBA goes tonight, I know you're going to have most of your attention likely on the draft. You want to make sure you're paying attention to the NBA playoffs. Make sure you're playing the Pick'em game at Underdog, especially with that extender promo they have for the playoffs. With the extender, you can play your way to increasingly bigger boosts each round of the playoffs. So the longer the series, the bigger the boost. Whether you win or lose, you're going to continue to get a bigger boost. On Underdog, one of the leading sports apps out there, millions of fans have won billions of dollars. You can play with as little as $1, and if you get everything right on your entry, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. So download the Underdog app. Sign up with promo code STAR to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Again, use promo code STAR when you sign up at Underdog. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska. Present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney and have been representing people injured in auto and commercial truck collisions right here in San Antonio, my hometown, since 1994. Getting into a collision can be a life-altering event. Your health and recovery is the only thing that really matters, and anyone that's ever been injured in a traffic collision will tell you that. How do you get the insurance company to pay? Simple. Call me. As your attorney, my job is to get you through this. The decisions you make immediately after a collision are the most important decisions you can make. If you call me as soon as you can after a collision, I will help you make the right decisions for you and your family. Remember, I do not charge for a consultation. Growing up on the southwest side of San Antonio, when Loop 410 was the edge of town, I know how overwhelming it can be to face a giant insurance
Monday
company
on the Blitz,
all on
so
your own.
much
Just
to
keep it
react
simple.
to. The draft is over.
My number
The
is
Cowboys
210
picks, the
900
Texans picks, so
0400.
much.
That's 900 0400. Or go to my website at lawyerforus.com.
All right, here we go.
Listen up,
Coming
San
up Monday
Antonio.
on the
At
Blitz, the
University of
draft
Maryland
is
Global
over.
Campus,
So
you
much
can
to
get
react
college
to.
credit for the
Cowboys
stripes you
and
earned.
Texans.
Turn your military rank into college credit to save time and money on an online degree. Eligible enlisted
The Blitz
service
starts
members
Monday
and
at 2.
previously enlisted veterans may receive up to 12 credits for select undergraduate courses based on their rank, and up to 90 credits in total for prior learning, military experience, and training. Classes start soon. Learn more at umgc.edu/SATX.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news and stats to placing bets in just a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code JOEQ to get started today. That's JOEQ, JOEQ. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
May I help you? I just wanted to request a late checkout, please. Of course. That's $30 per hour for up to 4 hours. Huh. Okay, but if you can offer a late checkout, then that probably means no one is staying in that room. So if it's empty, maybe I can just stay a few extra hours. Oh, aren't you adorable?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Gentlemen, testosterone levels can start dropping in your 30s, leading to low energy, reduced libido, and slower metabolism. Rock's Discount Vitamins is making it easy to take back control. No appointments and no prescriptions. Just head into a Rock's and walk out with a natural solution tailored to you. Our powerful line of natural testosterone boosters can help increase energy, build muscle, rev up your metabolism, and reignite your drive. subscribe. You'll feel the difference and fast. Visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God in South Texas.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
I think this is turning into one of James Pledger's favorite songs.
Yeah, I think so too.
Nothing More. Opening tonight for Disturbed. Although, it's funny, we were talking to, it's not funny, but funny that we were talking to Mark from the band Nothing More earlier in the week, and I randomly asked him, because what happens if somebody can't go? Of all things, Johnny Hawkins, their lead singer, just posted on social media a couple of minutes ago that doctors have told him to shut it down. He's having some voice issues, has to go see a specialist Monday. So they're actually using a backup singer tonight and for tomorrow night in Fort Worth, but some of their headlining gigs that they have booked when Disturbed has off nights, Nothing More has been playing other places as the headliner. They've had to cancel like Sunday in Fayetteville, and I guess, and for Johnny to get, in his words, the silent treatment, this has got to be painful for him not to be able to talk.
Well, absolutely. And then, having to cancel gigs, our good friends from Kingdom Collapse, it's bad for them too. So, well.
Yeah, because they're opening for those Nothing More headliner shows. So,
yes.
I guess they got a Sunday in Arkansas with nothing to do.
Wow. That's on the bucket list, huh?
I don't know. I'd keep driving to Memphis and at least go to Beale Street.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. Memphis is a lot of fun.
Memphis is a lot of fun. So if you're going to the show tonight, will be interesting to see what Nothing More is like with a different singer. Everybody else in the band doing their part, and at least they're keeping those parts of the gig going. But you got to save your voice.
Yeah, what are you going to do? I mean, when that's what you do for a living, that's kind of a problem. So I hope everything's okay and then get that thing fixed. Figure out what's wrong with him and prescribe something.
If you are watching on YouTube and you see me keep grabbing my phone, it's communicating with the Cowboys people about when we're going to get Tyler Booker on. Everything in Dallas today has been running late, from his arrival to his press conference was 3 and then 3:30 and then 4, and it hadn't even started yet. So, but at least they're communicating quite a bit. We expect to hear from Tyler Booker at some point before we go off today at 5 o'clock, and it is one of those days, rare days, we get an early release on Fiesta Friday because of draft coverage from ESPN Radio that we are obligated to go to at 5 o'clock. So hopefully we end up with Tyler Booker. We've been promising him, but timing.
What are you going to do? I mean, we're at the mercy of the timing there. So hopeful that this will happen, but just stay tuned.
Yep. Now, as far as Tyler Booker, I know that's not what I wanted. I'm not mad at the pick. I don't know that anybody is ultimately mad at the pick in this. You're just one of those types that are going to be mad at everything.
Right.
And I know those exist. I see them in our comments on the YouTube channel. But in reality, it's a smart pick. It's a, well, in Jerry's words, safe pick. I mean, if McMillan were there, I think they would have gone with McMillan. But when he's not there, no trades that were available, you look at this pick, a smart, sensible, and, yes, safe pick.
We had, our guy said the safe. He used that word safe as a pick. I bet I heard it 20 times talking about safe, okay, about what what might not be there that you would want to be there. And the word was safe. The word safe in having an offensive line is so important, because when you have inconsistent availability, or you have inconsistent reliability relative to your discipline, the word safe in an offensive line is a big deal. And that was the pick right there on it. The others have it going. So if we simply can line up and not give back more of the yards than we're making this coming year, we will be well down the road on having a lot more wins. And our offensive line did need addressing. Now, you say dressing from within? Yes.
Yes. It is a safe pick. And from all indications, it was to be McMillan, Tet McMillan. And that's, by everybody we've talked to, the Cowboys were thinking that. He didn't last that long. Carolina threw him a little bear trap in front of him. And the safe pick then was Tyler Booker. And that's what the Cowboys did. Look, I'm not mad at the pick either. They've got a hell of an offensive line, and it looks like they're building another solid offensive line.
Well, and again, I mean, you know, with that many first-round draft picks, they better turn into the best offensive line in football. And while we all think about the needs, what we think they need, when they're in the room, they have an idea of what they think they need. And I think Stephen Jones, in a lot of ways, put offensive line a little bit higher than most of us did when he explained why this was the right pick for the Dallas Cowboys.
If you look at our division, I mean, we've got some really top defensive tackles in our division, and we understand that, and not going to be able to move them around now. You're either going to pick Tyler Smith or Tyler Booker, so good luck. And we like our guy, and he was, you know, he's just a hell of a solid pick, and he's going to be a great player. I don't want to talk for Coach. He makes those decisions, but can't imagine he doesn't walk in here day one and start for us.
Well, I would hope so. I mean, look, Tyler Guyton did, right? They drafted him number 1 last year. He was the day one starter. I firmly believe that Booker will be as well. So, yeah, you're right. With the first-round stuff, the first-round picks that the Cowboys have done over the years, that offensive line has got to be solid. It has got to work. And now you try to add some pieces around it that maybe you take a few more chances now that you've got your foundation set.
Well, and again, I mean, Abdul Carter now with the Giants. The Giants may end up with maybe the best defensive line in football. I mean, just look at that talent.
No doubt.
Look at the Eagles front, Washington's front, just within the NFC East. And I don't know that a lot of us, when we're looking at team needs, are also looking at, you play these guys 2 times a year. You've got to survive that. What do you have to do first to win the East? And then what are you going to do? I think Texans are going to be looking at the same thing. You know, the Texans now got to face Travis Hunter twice a year. They're going to face Cam Ward twice a year. Indy made a good pick. I mean, the AFC South got better yesterday, and you got to win your division first. So, like I said, I'm not mad at the pick. It's not what I wanted. And if McMillan wasn't there, and he wasn't, the other receivers that we all thought they might take or running back, you go best player available and what's going to help your team based on your board, and they stayed true to their board. You got to give them credit for that. They didn't reach. I thought they would trade down and get that guard, but they couldn't find a trade partner, and Jerry talked about that. Cut 2.
We had exhausted the complete possibilities in trade. We had finality of it, and we still had 2 or 3 minutes left on the phone. We didn't. The trade did not work for us. We did not want to make the trade, and we immediately knew when we got through that we would make the pick. And so, yes, real possibilities right up until 2 minutes before the bell rang.
No, we had hard offers for the pick, and unless it was the pick because we liked our player, unless it was a really significant trade, then we were going to pass.
Well, somebody was trying to, get it cheap, and the Cowboys said, no, we don't want to do that. So Look, I don't mind the pick either. Yeah, I was upset last night, not necessarily with the pick of Booker, but I was upset that Carolina kind of snuck in and took McMillan. And now reading today and talking to Jon Machota and seeing some of the other reports, the Cowboys were going to take McMillan if he was there at 12.
And while they were linked to several other wide receivers, that apparently isn't what they were looking for. Now, Will McClay says that they think they can still find that wide receiver in the draft tonight.
Yeah, I mean, there's good football players there. That's why we go through the process of looking at all their talents and their skill sets. We go through it with the coaches, and there's traits that we're looking for. And then that's why we have great coaches to develop those as well. So there's players that come in this league from all different parts of the draft. We have to do our job well to identify those, and I still feel good that there's opportunities there, and it doesn't end. You know, Steven says it's player acquisitions for 24/7, 365.
Steven has said that to us on many occasions. But look, I mean, think about how many stars have come out in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th rounds of an NFL draft. You got to still do your homework, and you got to still be optimistic that you can find a diamond in the rough.
Now, you look with the picks that the Cowboys have tonight, with what we know they have right now. If they make some trades and get some picks or trade away, all right. But if you look now, I still think they need a running back.
Okay.
They still need wide receiver too. They still need corner. Based on what you saw yesterday, do you think they stay true to their board? Is best player available if their turn is up and the corner is there? Would you be mad if it's corner in 2nd round as opposed to receiver?
No, not at all. Would you?
No.
No. If they get a good corner, that's a definite need. They've addressed the running back room to some extent. You got a couple of quality players there. Wide receiver, I think, is a more important need, quite frankly, than even running back at this point, just so you've got a number 2 guy. Now, again, we don't know what they think of Jonathan Mingo. Jon Machota of The Athletic tells us that they think higher of him than most people on the outside. So maybe he turns into something. Who knows? But I think wide receiver is still the place that I would be most concerned about.
I'm opposite. I think running back is the place I'm most concerned with. If a running back from Ohio State is available and they don't take him, I think I'd be shocked because I don't know. With my kid at Arizona State, my love of Cam Scatterboo, but I don't know what running backs are available after the 2nd round that would give you the same kind of impact that you would expect other than what you signed in the offseason. And I'm not as high on the guys that they signed in the offseason as you are as far as being that kind of bell cow lead back. They need an RB1 more than they need a wide receiver 2. So if one of those Ohio State running backs are there and they took corner, I'd act like you last night when McMillan went to Carolina. I'd throw a fit and throw up like Banks's baby did when he got drafted to New Orleans.
I did. All the wings I ate, I just puked them all up right then when Carolina pulled that crap.
What a waste of great wings
that they pulled. Look, I do think Javonte Williams can be the guy. I do. I think he played well with Denver last year, and I think you can come in and develop this guy into the number 1 running back. So, look, I'm not saying they don't need a running back. I'd like for them to get a running back. But I think this guy, at least day 1, is going to be your starting back if they don't draft somebody else.
It's going to be, dude, the draft is fascinating.
No doubt.
And let's not forget, in the National Football League, unlike the NBA, where it's all about who you take in the first rounders because most second rounders aren't impact players. Trust me, I know there are some, Manu, that have made impacts, right? But for the most part, you're a second-round guy, and you probably don't have much of an NBA career. That's not the case in the NFL. And so all the talk about Shadur falling out of the first round, dude's still going to be in the NFL. He'll still have his opportunity. Luther Burden falling out of the first round is a surprise. That guy was so pissed he went and worked out after midnight last night.
Isn't that crazy? Props to him. And if I'm a GM and I'm seeing that, I'm like, yeah, Let's go Luther.
Well, and again, if you're the Cowboys, is Luther Burden on your radar? I mean, 5'11" type guy. If they're looking for the 6'4" type, you got to look at Iowa State. So you wonder what type of receiver they want. If they want, Luther Burden could be the guy, but it makes me wonder, since they passed on a Golden and others that you're in that height range and speed range, is that not what they're looking for?
It's got to be, but Mingo's that guy, isn't he? So, yeah, you're right. I mean, what prototype do they want? The Jalen's are kind of in that same category as a Luther Burden. It's going to be fascinating to see where they go. These two picks tonight will be in. I think will tell you a lot about what the Cowboys are thinking.
And then you never know. Maybe they say, well, we need to find some guys who's playing in the UFL that we could sign and bring in. Who knows? I know that the Brahmas will have their home opener Sunday, 2 o'clock in at the Alamo Dome. They take on the Houston Roughnecks. First home game.
The Roughnecks.
$3 beers pregame and $3 margaritas is their little happy hour before kickoff tomorrow in at the Alamo Dome. We've got a 4-pack of tickets. Let's give them away right now. Caller number 12. Those tickets are yours. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, and you need your logo on any kind of gear, get into Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro. If you need your logo on a nice golf shirt, fishing shirt, Sam has his entire spring line on display right now in that showroom. If you need caps done, he has over 25,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations. And all the popular cap brands, Katie Caps, Nike, Richardson 112 style trucker caps, Cap America, to name a few. Over 700 uniform lines to choose from. Nobody has better prices. Sammy is the only company in Texas that offers one-day turnaround. Call 210-824-3900, 824-3900, or go by that massive showroom down on San Pedro, 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or check the website, samsembroidery.com, for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, the draft has come and gone. We'll break down everything that happened over the weekend.
Count your cups and shake out all that Coscaroni dust. We got a lot to talk about. NBA playoffs are now in full swing. Get here early. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Wilco, live in concert. Sweet and Sour Spring 2025. VSB May 6th with special guest Waxahachie. Wilco. Get tickets now at livenation.com. For more, visit wilcoworld.net.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation.
Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row.
Groundworks is the official foundation repair company of Texas Athletics. Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Does this sound like your marriage? Wake up and realize that there's a better life waiting. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, attorneys at law. At Barton & Associates, we specialize in navigating the complexities of divorce law, protecting your best interests, and ensuring you're not left vulnerable. Divorce is tough, but here's the thing. You have a choice. You can either let your spouse dictate the terms, or you can take control of the process and secure your future. If you're serious about protecting yourself and securing your financial future, Barton & Associates is the team you need. Call 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-MILLION. Or visit TexasDivorce.com. If you're tired of this, then start your better life today with Barton & Associates. Visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
When it comes to vaccines, it's important to get the facts. The City of San Antonio Metropolitan Health District understands that keeping your child safe is your top priority. Vaccines are safe and can help your child's immune system fight harmful germs. They protect against serious diseases and can even save lives. Because when it comes to your child's health, it's time to get real about vaccines and get the facts. Learn more at sa.gov/health. sa.gov/health.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's gonna audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Progressive knows when you own a boat or RV, it's like you're automatically on vacation, even if you're actually a marriage counselor in the middle of couples therapy. But in your mind, you're camping in Acadia, puttering around Frenchman Bay. Your boat and RV are both protected. You're lobster drenched in butter and... Uh-oh, did your clients just notice you weren't listening? Quick, do the thing where you just repeat back exactly what they said, but as a question. They bought it. Now back to Maine, earning an automatic discount bundling your boat or RV with your home or auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along on this Fiesta Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday, everybody. Hope it's been a good Friday.
Although, man, Tyler Booker's having one hell of a Friday, it seems like.
It looks like it, doesn't he?
He got some new boots. You know what's crazy about the boots he got from Lucchese? They didn't have any his size. Go figure. So they have a book, and they trace out his feet in this book. Then he signs it, and then they custom made it today. And they look incredible. But apparently that's how they used to do Tom Landry's boots, according to a tweet from Jane Slater.
Look, Lucchese boots are probably if not one of the best boots made.
Mm-hmm.
And I think most of them are made to order in that case. So good for him. And those boots look nice. They look like snake skin on top, and then a grayish, and it says Dallas Cowboys. They're sharp-looking boots.
They are. They kind of look like what they give to the Valero Texas Open champion.
Yeah.
Except for a Cowboys logo instead of the Valero Texas Open logo.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, cool. So Jerry's very long-winded at their press conference today. He's still long-winded. So, we're always trying to be very beyond the curtain, right? Tyler Booker should have been on by now. He's still in the middle of a press conference, and every time I look up, it's Jerry talking. So I don't know if he's going to be on in the next 15 minutes or not. If we stick around and tape it, we'll put it on social. We'll figure it out. Fluid situation.
Yeah, everything running a little bit late up there at Frisco. And of course, Jerry, there's cameras, there's a microphone. He's going to talk. That's what he does. And that's what he's doing. So we'll see what happens. We still have some time. You never know. He gets off the podium and gives us a call, and we'll go from there. But
now, Pledge put up on our screen, Jerry's jabbering, telling some Alvin Harper story, which tells me wide receiver 2 is on his mind. Can I read into that tea leaf? Could a wide receiver 2, The Alvin Harper to Michael Irvin. Who's going to be the Alvin Harper to CeeDee Lamb?
Well, I guess you could do that. I think you're reaching, unlike the Cowboys did yesterday.
Safe.
Yeah, it's safe. I have no clue. I tell you, I have no clue what the Cowboys are going to do tonight. I know what I'd like for them to do, but I don't know what they're going to do. To me, I guess it just depends on whoever falls their way, because I don't think they're going to move up. I mean, this Will Johnson, this cornerback out of Michigan, I would love for them to be aggressive and go get. I think that would be good, but I think he's going to be gone pretty early. The Travion Henderson, I think, of Ohio State is going to be gone pretty early. Maybe Judkins is still there when the Cowboys draft at 44. But I think there's going to be some good players that are still available go pretty early in the second round.
Well, Cowboys have the 12th pick in the second round. Cleveland's got a couple. Yeah, kind of think one of them might be Shadur, maybe. Although they got 3, maybe the third one will be Shadur if he's still there, 4 hours from now.
Dude, I hope not.
Well, your head going to explode?
Well, not mine. Everybody on the national media's head will explode.
Mel Kiper?
Mel Kiper will explode. Everybody on ESPN will explode. Hell, I even saw a thing from President Trump. Said, how could these stupid NFL owners not draft Shadur Sanders?
Did
Even
he really?
He's jumping on the bandwagon.
Did he really?
Yes.
Wow.
I don't get it. Look, nothing against Shadur Sanders. I respect his talent and his ability. But these are the NFL teams that are getting players that they want. Not who we want them to get, who they want. And right now, nobody wants Shadur Sanders. So, respect that.
Nobody wanted him as a first-round pick. And the one surprise was the New York Giants. Now, Abdul Carter at number 3 was the right move.
Yes.
And then when they traded with Houston, you knew it was a quarterback. The amount of work that the Giants put into Shadur and Jackson Dart, and for them to move back into the first round and take Jackson Dart, knowing that he's going to sit a year. They've already signed a couple of quarterbacks. He's a project. They thought Jackson Dart was a better project than Shadur Sanders. Now, is that skill level, or is it all the other stuff that comes with Shadur Sanders? Because what he said last night when he didn't get drafted in his party, that's a leader, right? He showed leadership qualities there. But when you read, and I hate anonymous quotes like this, but there were enough of them about how his interviews went and about how he was more about me than team, you wonder how much, especially as a first-rounder, did that scare teams off?
Well, obviously it did. Obviously it scared teams off. So, what are you going to do? Shadur's going to get drafted. It's just a matter of when and by what team. I tend to think it will be Cleveland at some point in time. One of those 3 picks that they have left will select Shadur. And I think it's going to go to Cleveland unless the Raiders surprise everybody with their quick pick. I just don't know. But he'll get drafted. And then it's going to be up to him to say, you know what, everybody made a mistake. 2-3 years from now, I would want everybody saying, man, we screwed up with Shadur Sanders.
Not every year, but you can go back and you could look. There are great players that were drafted outside of the first round that had incredible careers, Hall of Fame careers. It's a crapshoot. There's, half of the guys picked last night are not going to work out. Less than half of those guys are going to sign contracts with the team that drafted them, their second contract. The Texans didn't make a pick last night, but wasn't that long ago, 2014, that they took Jadeveon Clowney number 1 overall, right?
Yep. Seemed like a great pick at the time.
And he was good for 8 minutes. But, you have no idea. Everything is a projection. Abdul Carter looks like he's going to be great. Could be a bust.
Could be.
Tyler Booker looks like he's going to be great. Could be a bust. That's just the nature of the beast. You have no idea. They're great in college, not great in the NFL. There's guys that are okay in college that turn out to be incredible pro players, and a big part of that is who drafted him and does he fit in the system?
Absolutely. But that's why you understand what Jerry's talking about when he says this is a safe pick. And I think he's right. Now, look, it doesn't mean that Booker's going to be the best offensive lineman or be another Zach Martin. We don't know that. Tyler Guyton got off to a very rough rookie year. Will he improve? Obviously, the Cowboys hope so. But he was a number 1 pick. So it is all a roll of the dice. Every single pick. I mean, Travis Hunter. Guy's got all the tools. But if you wear him out in 3 years and he's done, you wear him out in 3 years and he's done. So, you don't know how these things are going to play out.
Well, and again, for the Cowboys going offensive line, it was a safe pick. It's not the pick that most wanted. Now, there were a couple people that did call in or comment yesterday on YouTube saying offensive line. I'll give A.J. Hoffman from the Morning Huddle credit. He said a week ago it needed to be offensive line. Last night on the Pat McAfee deal, Mike McCarthy, former Cowboy head coach, was the guest dude on with McAfee. And when the Cowboys went offensive line, the smile on McCarthy's face, we didn't see a smile like that last year when he was coaching the Dallas Cowboys.
Love the pick, Mel. Love the pick. I'm telling you, no, seriously. If you had asked me who we'd be picking, this is the way I think it goes. I think once again, a lot of conversations. It's an offensive line that is better today than it was, at the point last year, because they had 5 young offensive linemen play a ton of football next year. Now you're adding Tyler, so I think you're getting back to hopefully the good old days in Dallas.
The good old days in Dallas, because there was a time, a couple of different times. Back when they won their Super Bowls, they had a hell of an offensive line. And then when you got Zach Martin and all the guys, Tyron Smith, and it was a center that they had a hell of an offensive line. And so that's been kind of their signature, and they're trying to get back to that.
Well, and are you thinking of Travis Frederick?
Travis, yes.
Travis Frederick tonight will be in Green Bay to announce the 2nd and 3rd round picks for the Dallas Cowboys. I just hope he doesn't bring in another offensive lineman. Although
named Tyler.
Well, I think that's a requirement now to work in Dallas.
Maybe.
You have to be named Tyler. Although I don't know that I'd be surprised if they go defensive line. Just hearing them talk about the trenches and as consistent as they have been, if who they want that we're thinking is gone, I could see them going with a safe pick. But I just get the feeling, you listen to Schottenheimer talk, and he's about running the football, about owning the line of scrimmage.
Well, I think, after the turnover battle, I think the number one way you win football games in this league is you own the line of scrimmage. And so that's not just on offense, it's on defense as well. And you saw us make some moves in the offseason free agency to fill some holes on defense. There's going to be a commitment to playing physical on both sides of the line of scrimmage. And this young man comes in, he's extremely powerful. He's a mauler. And then, again, having guys like Clayton, Connor Riley, to help develop him and to develop the entire unit, whether it's Tyler Guyton, whether it's Cooper Beebe, Terrence Steele, all the guys, there's going to be a commitment to us owning the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. And that was part of the process of the hiring process for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, when you look at their depth chart right now and the starters, and they've already plugged in I'm going brain dead here.
Booker?
Yeah, that guy. I would call him Brooks.
T-Buck.
T-Buck. They've already plugged him in as a starter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's in there on the depth chart. It's already there. So,
part of that's because Shotty said so last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, when we looked at him, Mike, we feel that he's a immediate starter, a guy that's going to play for a long time at a very high level. He's a guy that can impose his will. He's a guy that's going to impact not just the offensive line, but the team. When you meet the young man and you're around him, the type of competitor he is, his personality. Again, you lose a guy like Zach, you don't have to replace him, but we felt like this is a guy that comes in immediately and fills a big void for us. and we're just beyond excited that we're able to get them.
Yeah, no doubt. And look, I think when you look back, when you take a step back and you take a breath, you realize that this was a solid pick. Offensive line is a place where you always want to be solid. I mean, you do. And especially, as we've talked about, against some of the defensive fronts now that the Cowboys are going to have to face twice every year, with the Giants doing what they did with Carter last night. We already know the Philadelphia Eagles front line defensively is outstanding. And then and you look at the Washington Commandskins. I mean, they're outstanding too. So the NFC East is back. And I don't know, not saying the Giants are going to be a player because I'm not sure that they're there yet, but they might be. If Russell Wilson can find the fountain of youth, you never know. Their defense is going to be solid. So it's going to be interesting to see in the NFC East. And the Cowboys had to make sure that they have an answer for the defensive fronts that they're going to face. And I think they've done that. Now what do they do coming up tonight, second and third rounds? And then on Saturday, when you've got the rest of the NFL draft, how do the Cowboys handle it? Where do they go? But I think tonight is going to say a lot about what they're thinking and what they think their major needs are and how they're going to address those. We'll find that out tonight.
Well, and I know Will McClay said last night, while everybody wanted all kinds of stuff, the Cowboys really like where they are heading into tonight's second day of the draft. Will McClay, the de facto general manager.
There's good football players all over the board still, and that's why you have the draft and you were going through. And the best part of the way the draft is set up now, you got another day to get ready ahead of time and go through your strategy and go and look at things like that. But there's a lot of good football players there, and we have needs, and there's players that can fill it.
We have more than 12 players that would be worthy of that pick, and we're 12 back, so we should get a good player.
Wow. Sound like Steven's fighting a cold or something.
He's got something.
Yeah. Look, there are good players. We know this from the history of the NFL draft. There's good players in the later rounds of the draft. So all hope is not lost, Cowboy fan, Texan fan. There will be some talent to be had tonight and tomorrow.
The question is, are you going to be excited about the talent? And again, I'm not mad at the pick. It wasn't an exciting pick because Dak Prescott still needs weapons. You need an RB1. You need a wide receiver 2. You need a corner. I think if Saturday morning you wake up and the Cowboys have done that, you have to feel pretty good about what the Cowboys did over the first 2 days. And third day of the draft, who knows, right? But, round 1, round 2, round 3, the Cowboys need to find some guys that can have an immediate impact on next year's football team.
And that's the thing. Are they going to be able to do that? And, I don't know. When it comes to wide receiver, I think what's left, unless you're talking about a Luther Burden, maybe that guy can be the number 2 guy. But I'm just not sure what's out there and what's going to be available that you could say, we drafted this guy and he automatically becomes wide receiver number 2. I think had you had McMillan or maybe even Golden for that matter, you'd feel a little bit better about that and saying, yeah, this is our number 2 guy and that's where they're going to start. So remains to be seen. It's going to be an exciting night, NFL draft-wise.
Well, and you look at, obviously, we're Cowboy-focused. The Texans, we all know what the Texans need to do tonight. Nick Caserio added more picks. I wouldn't be surprised if Nick Caserio made even more trades. I think the biggest storyline going into tonight's second round is how long does it take for Shadur Sanders to get off the board, and where is he going to go? We know it's going to be Cleveland, and quite frankly, I hope he gets drafted early so we could focus on all the other players. Last night, Cameron Ward, I don't want to say he got shortchanged, but he got shortchanged for a number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
And partly because everybody knew he was going to go to Tennessee, and then Jacksonville immediately made the trade for Travis Hunter. So whatever they had planned for the Cam Ward pick went out the door when Jacksonville surprised everybody by moving up to number 2 to get Travis Hunter. And his celebration was as much about that kid going to Florida as it was him not going to Cleveland.
That had to be like a woo. I'm not going to Cleveland, baby. Going to Florida where the weather's much warmer. Yeah, that was exciting. And I like to see those guys excited. And we saw a bunch of that. All of them. McMillan came out. He was excited. You saw Banks. He was excited and emotional. And you just got to I think we forget sometimes when we're watching the NFL, and especially the NFL draft, that these kids have been thinking about this since they were playing in their backyards, when they were, 5 years old, thinking about the draft and playing in the NFL. And finally, that dream has come true.
It really has. And our dream of talking to Tyler Booker on this Fiesta Friday is not going to come true. The press conference just ended. He's going to be on Monday, I'm told.
All right, fair enough. That's great.
This actual text. We're going to have to do this Monday. This press conference is running long. I'm sorry. We'll do it Monday. Cool.
Fair enough.
And hopefully, whoever gets taken tonight, we'll get them on too on Monday. But I'm being told right now we'll get Booker on Monday.
Outstanding. That's great. So stay tuned for Monday.
So can we rerun yesterday's next day promo, or do we got to record a new one now? We'll have to record a new one. Now we got to work more. We got to redo that whole thing. We got 20 seconds extra work to do after we get off work. Man.
Well, and you got to wait a little bit because you know what I got to do as soon as the mics go off.
Oh no!
Oh yeah!
So you got to hold it.
Well, then you're gonna have to
do
it yourself.
You're gonna have to hold it, Joe.
Dude, I'm sitting here like with a shaky leg as we go now,
what
baby.
What are you doing?
Woo.
Are you kidding?
I'm swimming.
You don't have to swim.
All right.
All right. So Tyler Booker on Monday.
I'm looking forward to that. Be good.
It'll be good. It's going to be a good weekend. Draft coverage coming up next. Have a great weekend.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
From the San Antonio Sports Star Studios, sponsored by George Salinas Injury Lawyers.